Hey everybody, this is Mike, and welcome to Session 10 of Star Wars Heart of the Empire. This is a tabletop version of Star Wars the role-playing game developed by Fantasy Flight Games, and this series, along with many other awesome series, can be found on the Tides of Change role-playing game club. The excuse me, the Tides of Change role-playing game club can be found on Facebook. Just do a search under Tides of Change. They're a fantastic organization that is there to provide assistance, to provide games, players. If you ever wanted to run a game in the Star Wars universe and you like the Fantasy Flight Games system, which is a fantastic system in my opinion, I would highly suggest you guys go out and check it out. It's fantastic all-around group, great group of people. Matter of fact, it's where I found my incredible players that are playing with me today. And of course, without further ado, I would like very much to introduce them. So I will start on my left. The very left, that would be Dennis. Dennis, if you could introduce yourself and a little bit about your character.
Hello, I'm Dennis, and tonight, as with every session of Heart of the Empire, I'm playing Varric Marr. He was bred and trained to be an assassin. He found out that his masters were using them for the Empire, which led him to join up with the rebels to learn what he could about both groups and to see which side that he and those that are loyal to him should fight on. And that's that.
Awesome. And next up we have Devin. Devin, if you could please introduce yourself, your character, and your channel.
Yeah, I'm Dev from the YouTube channel What the Dice. We also play some Star Wars there if you want to check it out. And I'll be playing Koljabal Hajima. He's a Weequay saboteur who likes to play with explosives. For the cause of good, of course.
Of course, because I mean, hey, you know, nothing can possibly go wrong when you play with explosives. Next up, we have Gabe B. Gabe, if you could please introduce yourself, sir, and your character.
Hey, everybody, this is Gabe B. And as Varric has said earlier, because I didn't know we could change characters, I am playing Mercer. He is a human commando, and instead of a hit and miss, he's a miss and miss tactician. He's learning on the job, but he's going to get it right one day.
And I'm sure not at the cost of anyone's life at all. Everything's going to be fine. And, of course, last but not least, certainly not least, we have John. John, if you could please introduce yourself, your character, and your channel.
Hi, this is John from Red Dice Diaries. I will be playing the Quarren Ace pilot, Salin Naval. We've just captured a large ship, which I'm very, very happy about. However, I feel I may shortly be about to see an unpleasant figure from my past.
Most certainly. And of course, before we begin, I'll give a hopefully much briefer summary events than I've been giving in the past, because sometimes I like to go back 6 sessions just to catch people up. But very quickly, on Thyfera, there was a shipment of Bacta by an insidious clandestine Imperial organization called Unit 88. They were keeping this Bacta to use in a device that could actually control the minds and hook up individuals like a computer so that they can be sliced and then controlled by this unit. Of course, this could be incredibly disastrous for the rebellion and even for the known galaxy. One of the components being Bacta, the members of Havoc Squad traveled to Thyfera in order to stop one of the pieces, this Bacta shipment. They located where it was being held. A massive fight ensued. Plans went to shit, and then a whole lot of fighting, finished off by a beautiful duel on a moving ATST, led the Havoc Squad up to the orbit of the planet, where it was being loaded onto a transport ship headed for destination unknown. Luckily, the two crazy X-wing pilots of the Thyferan communications base were able to tail Salin and piloting him as he was piloting his Lambda class shuttle. They were able to sneak forward, fire a couple of warning shots, and the transport immediately surrendered, opening up their cargo containers and spacing the Bacta supply. Landing in the hangar bay, or at least the main cargo area, the members of Havoc Squad opened the back door once it was safe, ready to fight, and a very interesting, or I should say, at least in this case, a very dark member of Salin's past was evident. So as now we begin with session number 10 of Heart of the Empire. As the door begins to open, Salin, you see to yourself this Quarren standing there, and you recognize him right away. This man, Fomofa Dulbar, a member of your crew that was kind of a lowly engineer, but as soon as he came on board, even though you did need the crew at that time, especially for this one run, he served his purpose well, but you could tell he did not get along with the crew. He was brash. He was that guy, and no one wants to be that guy, but he was that guy. You know, he's always taking credit for other people's work, always saying what was on his mind, even though tact should have proven otherwise. And finally, he was also that guy that hid contraband on your ship and informed the Empire that you were hauling illegal substances. The Empire, of course, you know, stopping your ship, boarded it, finding the contraband, summarily arrested your crew and yourself. You being able to escape, eventually escaping capture and finding your way to the rebellion. Always wondered who it was that had basically done this, or at least set you up. And now you realize this Fomofa, you know, with a kind of a decent ship with Imperial markings, is now standing there staring at you. What would you like to do?
Okay, without uttering a word, I'm going to cross the space between us very quickly, grabbing hold of his lapels, his jacket, whatever he's wearing, and I'm just going to literally smash him bodily into the bulkhead behind him, sort of putting my arm like that under his neck, sort of holding him up, and then I just sort of like, yo, and I smash him up against the bulkhead, and then with my other hand, as sort of holding my arm in place to like keep him locked there, I'm going to reach around for my pistol with my other hand.
Okay. And as you're holding there, you've got your forearm pressed straight up against his throat. You know, his tentacles are flailing wildly. Yo, Salin, you careful. You're on my ship now. And in your rage, what you did not see are about 4 other members of the crew training blaster pistols on you.
I'm going to ignore them. I've only got eyes for like this one guy at the minute. I'm literally going to like jam my gun up under his chin. And I'm just going to say, You make the smallest of moves, and I will have no difficulty in spraying your brains all over this bulkhead.
Like,
What's
talk about this. Like, talk.
with seeing the commotion of the other soldiers raising their weapons at my comrade, I will definitely set it up underneath and lowering and pointing at a couple.
Okay, so you can tell, and they're of different races. You see a Mon Calamari, you see a Derosian, you see a couple of humans. They're just, and they're not in Imperial uniforms, like not even Famofa. Like, he is also not in any military uniform, just in like casual, grungy dress. They're all like, and you can tell, especially you, Mercer, you can tell by the way they're holding their blaster pistols. Their hands are shaking. I mean, these are not combat troops. They're just civilian merchant, basically like a merchant navy kind of a thing.
Just to let the rest of you guys know, like Salin, as he sort of slams this guy into the bulkhead, he doesn't even, aside from his initial shout, he doesn't even seem that angry. It's like he's been taking like Varric lessons in his like days off or some shit. As he like slams this guy, and he sort of like coldly pulls up his gun, sticks it under his chin, and says like, "I'll make the smallest move, and I'll ventilate you." As this guy's like going, "Oh, maybe we can talk about this." He genuinely doesn't seem to care or be interested in whatever this guy has to say.
Having been together so long and fought together so many times, we instinctively trust each other. That's how Kojamal feels, and he sees Salin just immediately go after this guy, and as soon as the other guys draw their weapons, Kojamal's immediately gonna pull out his pistol or his rifle, whatever he's got to hand, and train it on one of the other guys as well.
Varric will attempt to disappear from sight once the weapons are drawn.
Okay. So are you going to disappear into the ship, or are you going to try and like kind of sneak out of the ship and try and flank around them?
Correct.
Okay. So then first roll, please make me a stealth check. It'll be a difficulty of 2.
So that's 2 purple. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I've got to assemble my pool. Take me just a moment here.
Yeah, you probably got like 16 yellows and 4 greens and like 13 boost dice or something crazy like that.
Not quite yet. I gotta get a
Okay.
couple more experience points before I.
Just 2 more experience, man.
So let me double check. And since this is an agility-based skill, I will go ahead and use a strain to use my natural genetics to give me another boost on that. But I don't get the force, so there we go. So 3 successes and 2 advantage.
Okay. You're in like another dimension, and that's how much you've actually stealthed into fluidic space. Remember, you stealthed into Star Trek. That's how much you've stealthed. They not only do they not see you, but with those 2 advantage, you sufficiently almost make enough. You almost make like purposeful noise as you slink around, causing a few of them even to like kind of put their pistols, kind of lower their pistols and look kind of off to the side, like, what the hell was something over there? You are now in a perfect position to, like, if you need to attack them or need to strike at them or anything to that effect.
How many is there besides the one that's being?
So there's 4 others.
Okay.
I'm just going to be holding this guy, the gun jammed up like underneath his chin, and I'm just going to be like, "You betrayed all of us. What on earth could you possibly say that wouldn't make me kill you.
I did it to protect all of us.
You'll hear me like sort of like thumb the trigger back or whatever the equivalent is on a blaster pistol, and I'll just be like, "That's not good enough, I'm afraid, Dolbar."
Empire would have killed us all if I hadn't done what I did.
So what you're saying is you handed us over to the Empire to save your own worthless skin?
No. To save all of us.
I'm pulling the trigger.
Okay. Okay. And it's just a quick, like, just a blast. And it's like just this like kind of red mist and kind of also even like a kind of a red mixed with a black as you like actually fire through his ink sac and just blasts, like it just paints the side of one of the stanchions of the cargo area. He just goes limp in your like basically like on your hand, just becomes dead weight and kind of slides off, and just since there's no muscle mass holding him up, and he just hits the ground. The other four are just losing their shit. They're freaking out. Like one of them, just don't move. I'll shoot you.
To be honest, Kojima would have fired as soon as Salin fired his weapon. That would have been his cue. It's go time.
Okay.
Varric would have acted as well.
All right. So I guess let's do this. So it'll be just a cool for you guys, and it'll be vigilance for you guys. Okay, so Salin, as you fired, he hits the ground with a just kind of like a dull thud.
Okay, since I sort of did the shot as everyone else was acting, I'm quite happy to say that was my first action, shooting him.
Well, it could be. I mean, also keep in mind that like you basically just executed the guy, and hey, I mean, you know, it's understandable, the guy's a douche, but like, you know, as he's up there, the combat actually didn't start. You just pulled the trigger.
Okay.
It's, you know, so I mean, you can take your action. You see the four people, like, you know, all like they're training. Two of them are training pistols on you. One of them's training a pistol, kind of like moving back and forth between both Mercer and Kojamal. The fourth one is just kind of looking at his pistol and kind of looking at like the whole situation. So you could tell he's kind of like, it doesn't take a lot to realize that, you know, maybe he's not quite fully into this.
Okay, so for my action, I'm basically going to turn around, sort of noticing these people for the first time, as now Farmof has been dealt with. I'm just going to turn around and noticing them for the first time. I'm just going to wipe like his blood and like ink off my face where it's splattered, and then I'm just going to say to them in quite a cold, sort of like almost like dead voice. I'm just going to say to their crew, have a look around this bay at my friends and ask yourself, is this what you really want? Do you want to die for a traitor?
Okay. Okay, so I'll tell you what, we'll see how if that's going to take effect when it comes around to their turn. So the next up is going to be Varric. Varric.
Are there any of the four that doesn't seem to be hesitating as far as their aggression towards the others?
Well, I mean, it's, you know, it's the kind of like the flight or fight instinct. It's not, you know, they're not like, again, these aren't trained these aren't trained military personnel. You know, like they're scared. Like they're clearly scared, and all they know is that 4 heavily armed people are on board their ship, and for all they know that you four are just gonna kill them. So they're scared. They're panicking basically.
Okay, I'm going to. Man, I don't know. Well, I know what Varric would do. Not knowing exactly the whole story, but obviously seeing Salin's actions, he would have no way of knowing that whatever occurred to make him behave this way, these others aren't involved in. So he would not have any hesitation or mercy, and he's just going to. There'll be a soft hum as he steps up behind him, as he activates his vibro sword with a new binocular edge, and takes a swing.
Okay. So it'll be basically a difficulty of 1 or 2, excuse me, to hit.
Sorry, just getting my pool assembled here. 2, 1, 2 difficulty. Wow.
Okay, well he did. I mean, I think that's really safe to say that he
yeah,
did.
because with that new edge, that's each of those advantages gives a crit.
Oh, for Pete's sakes.
So
okay,
basically,
well,
You chopped them into pieces.
well, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to, having been hidden in the shadows, just step up behind him, reach out with my left hand to grab a fistful of hair and bring the blade across his neck and just hold it there as the body falls to the ground.
Okay, now, so my quick question is, which one were you doing it to? Were you doing it to the one, like one of the ones that had their weapons trained on Salin, one of the ones that had the one that had their weapon trained on both Kojamal and Mercer, or the one that was just standing there?
I wouldn't have gone after the one that was just standing there because he wouldn't have been an immediate threat. I guess in my mind, the ones that were trained on Salin would kind of had the drop on him as he was, taking care of that other guy, and so I would have taken one of them out.
Okay, so one of the ones training their weapons on Salin, dead. So cool. So he's taken out. Clearly, you're just kind of holding his head there for a second as his body just kind of, kind of squelches and thumps against the metal grating on the floor. Next up is Code. No, that's right. Next up is Mercer.
All right, seeing the 2 commotions, the quick kill and the eye blinking vengeance of Varric. Yeah, no qualms. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot the one who thinks he's going to want to square up with me and is pointing.
Okay, now you're using your. Did you still have your light repeating blaster?
Oh yeah, that's the one I pulled out. That's basically trained out.
Okay, so difficulty of 2. Make your attack.
All right, and then you hear that almighty whirling sound of when I click, putting on the full auto, and then the starts rotating from inside the barrel. All right, perfect. So what I want to do on this, I didn't hit him, got an advantage, but I am going to use the Triumph as basically spraying right above everybody's head, and just spraying and stopping all commotion of any type of other actions from preferably the enemy.
Okay. And Kojamal, you're up next.
Okay, so as Mercer does that, does it look like any of them are still aggressive, or does it look like they're going to stand down at this point? Or is it all happening simultaneously?
This is virtually happening simultaneously.
Okay.
Obviously, you guys have, much more discipline and much more experience. So I mean, these guys are slow to react, but.
Okay. So then, along the same lines of Varric, my instinct would have been to cover Salin's back because he's dealing with this guy at first, and those two guys pulled weapons on him from behind. So definitely, I would have been aiming at one of those two guys. So I will proceed. So I have my blaster carbine up to my shoulder, and I'm just trained on one of the guys that's pointing his weapon at Salin's back while he's turning around saying what he's saying. And I'll aim and take a shot.
Go for it.
2 successes.
Yep. You put a hole clean through his chest. Here you just basically just see like he pushes back. The light kind of just fades from his eyes, and he actually slumps and falls on top of the body that Varric. Like, he didn't even know that the other guy was beheaded behind him. He just slumps down, falls on top of the other body, and finally the crew, or rather what's left of the crew, the one just standing there looking, seeing all of this, like, he still has the blood on his face from the one that Varric so cleanly dispatched on the side of his face, and just like wiping his face. He's staring at it, and like holding his pistol, his hands just shaking, and just drops the pistol, and he just kind of like curls up into a ball and just kind of like puts his hands over the back of his head and just kind of curls up into the smallest ball that he possibly can. The one that's trained on both you, Kojamal, and you, Mercer, he kind of holds his pistol, looking around, and he kind of looks back for an instant to see his other 2 or 3 friends that are pretty much that are pretty much dead, and he just takes his pistol and just kind of just drops it on the ground. He just kind of puts his hands behind his head, and kind of like basically just kind of like puts his chin to his chest and just kind of gives up.
All right, I'll quickly move in and sweep the guns with my feet to the side towards Salin, and then start binding the one who primarily did give up and has his hands up or behind his head as he knelt down.
Kojamal will cover Mercer with the blaster carbine, and he'll just glance at Salin. Like, Salin, what the hell was all that about? Who was that guy?
I'm just going to look up here and I'll say, we don't have time for this at the minute. I'll explain later. There's probably more crew on board. They couldn't pilot a ship like this with just 4 people. We need to locate the rest of the crew.
So I'll nod and I'll change to covering any entranceways after he says that. So I have my blaster trained on an entranceway.
Okay. As you have a look around the area, the other 2 that they surrendered. So we are definitely out of combat at this stage. The one that was pointing a weapon at you 2, Mercer and Kojamal, he's still standing up. The other one is just curled into a ball. Like, he's his poor little sanity is just snapped like a rubber band. So I mean, the one standing up just says, "Look, just take what you want. You've already made a space our cargo."
I'm going to walk over to him and I'm going to say, look, a slight note of sort of slightly softer note coming into my voice. I'll say, look, you didn't betray myself or my crew. The person who did it is now dead. I've no wish to harm you or the rest of your crew, but we will if we need to. Tell me where the rest of the crew is. We'll put you in escape pods and you can leave.
Rest of the crew? This is it. We don't have a large crew. That twat you killed, captain for lack of a better term, he wasn't any good. Did us a bloody favor. He was a twat while he was alive, and now he's a dead twat. But
I'll nod slightly.
Well, I mean, we didn't know how we got this vessel. It's not even a vessel. Damn thing should have been scrapped ages ago, but it wasn't. Just repurposed. I mean, I say the guns don't even bloody work. Just looks menacing. This thing's a piece of garbage.
Guns can be repaired. The ship has now been repurposed again. It's now part of the Rebel Alliance fleet.
Look, me and get up, and he kind of like shouts to the guy who's kind of like curled up. It's fine. Hang on, and he kind of lifts up his buddy. It's all right. It's all right. Look, I don't think they're here to hurt us, mate. And the big guy kind of, you see him now. He's a slightly bigger guy. He's not like huge and muscular, but he's a bit filled out. He's like, okay, you're not gonna hurt us, because I don't want to get hurt, and
I'll sort of hold my hands up to show that I'm not holding a weapon, sort of holstering my pistol, and I'll say, we didn't come here to kill your crew. However, we do need a ship. We're going to take this one. We're going to get it repaired, and then we're going to make our way back to the rest of the Rebel Alliance fleet. You can either help us and crew this ship and become part of something better than whatever it is you've been doing, or we can put you into the escape pods and you can leave. Choice is up to you.
Well,
look. I was going to say, while he's speaking to the man, I will move in position behind Salin so the guy can see me and drop the head as I sheathe my blade and just stare at him from beneath my mask.
The bigger guy that was curled into a ball before has now like recurled into a ball again. He's just, he's very panicky. The other guy who's standing up seems a bit more brave. Look, you don't have to do that. We just want to be part of a crew and get paid. Are we going to get paid?
Of course, if you join us, of course you'll be paid the same way as all crew are paid. This wouldn't be my first time running a ship, but we'll need to get this one repaired. I'll look at Kojamal and I'll say, Kojamal, can you get on the comm system, see if you can contact the base? Perhaps they've got some technicians who can work on this ship.
Roger that. And I'll go back into the Finders Keepers and get on that.
Okay.
Does anything work on this ship? Does the tractor beam work? And I'm looking at the one who's standing.
Well, I mean, it works all right. I mean, doesn't pull at full capacity. Shields work pretty well. Guns are offline.
Quickly run to the computer console to get the tractor beam going to pull back that material, because, well, it seemed to be full now. Before it looked like they had emptied it and then threw out empty containers from the looks of it.
Well, from last session, I did mention, and you did see that they were Bacta containers that were spaced, and you even saw that some of them, like some of the fluid, some of the Bacta had been leaking out. So they're essentially now, frozen, well, liquid that has been frozen in the vacuum of space now, because
so it wasn't sealed properly. I thought it was like they had dumped it and they left that out. Never mind.
Yeah, it's ruined, I think.
Well, listen, my name is Buran, and this here is Jens. Well, this here is Jens. I'm the engineer aboard, trying to keep this heap together, and well, Jens here, he did odd stuff. I think Fomofa felt real bad for him. Actually pulled him out of a cantina fight. Some people were picking on him, and he was hurt up a bit. Needed a job. But I mean, he does little bits. He kind of helps me out, if you know what I mean. Helps me, hands me a spanner too. Anyway, I've been trying to fix it, but for Mofa just never really had the funds to get it going. So,
Well, look, my companion who's just stepped on board our shuttle is going to try and get in touch with some of our allies, and we'll see if we can get this pile up and working again. And when that happens, we'll be heading away from here. If you want to stay on as crew, we'll probably be looking to take on some extra from the base if we can to fill it out, to fill out the rest of the crew. If you want to stay on board, you can do.
well, wherever he goes, I go. So, all right, no problem. We'll stick on.
You serve this ship and the rebellion well. We'll have no arguments.
Look, I just want to work. I just want to not get killed, and neither does he. So, you do what you've got to do. I'll keep this piece of garbage in the air, as it were. Now,
What do you need to make the weapons operable?
oh no. Weapons is beyond my capabilities. We're gonna have to take this to either a scrapyard or so manufacturer, something. But we're gonna have to take it somewhere.
I'll sort of shout to Kojimol. I shout, Kojimol, any luck on that comms signal?
On it. And all
So-
of.
Kojamal, who are you trying to contact?
So I would open an encrypted channel to the Thyfera base, because
Okay.
I believe we're just outside of orbit right now, aren't we? We just left
Yes.
the planet and saw this transport. Okay.
That's correct.
So I would have an encrypted channel open, and I don't necessarily have to go all the way to the corporal or whoever. I would just radio in and say, "This is Havoc Squad. We've commandeered a transport in orbit, and we're requesting a technician and weapons specialist to make it operational for the rebellion."
Sure.
And I'll add that we need someone also who can take some disgusting imperial markings off of it.
You hear a bit of static for a little bit, and you kind of hear this kind of weird clicking. This kind of like click, 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 and then you hear a very familiar voice. It is the voice of Admiral now Whitman Rigg, your contact in Alliance Command. Gentlemen, it's a pleasure to hear from you again. How goes the fight on Thyfera?
So I'm the only one who can hear this, right?
Yes.
On the ship?
Mhm.
Okay. Greetings, Admiral. We are successful in our mission on Thyfera, although we did lose one transport load of Bacta. It was ruined by some Imperial transport crew, but we've commandeered their transport. We're looking to retrofit it for the rebellion.
Well, that sounds good. So I've been speaking with some individuals here at Allocations and Resources. You gentlemen have done an outstanding job, and I mean an outstanding job. That being said, we'll take care of the ship. Don't you worry about that. I imagine your next stop is going to be either where? Kuwait or Raltier?
I think we were talking about Raltier, weren't we, guys? Remember Raltier? Yeah. We're heading for Raltier, sir.
All right, excellent. Now listen to me very carefully. That means get a pencil. What you're going to do, you need to go to a very special place in Raltier, the capital, Cambriel. In the capital, there's a tower. Well, there's lots of towers because it's a tower city, so do keep that one in mind. You're going to have to keep the ship in orbit. However, what I need you to do is go to a tower called the Raltier Trust Tower. You're looking for the Raltier Trust Financial Institute. When you go in there, say you want to open an account called Republican Trust. They're going to ask you how much you want to deposit in that account. You say you want to deposit 5,812,496 credits, and we'll take it from there. We've been getting some uncomfortable reports from Raltier. This base handles a lot of the financials for the rebellion, including slicing and other things that we do to steal money from the Imperium to fund our operations. Now, you get in there, you get to Raltier, and don't you worry, we're going to handle the rest.
Roger that, sir. You can always depend on Havoc Squad.
Excellent.
Unless you want it done quietly. It's not our area of expertise.
Trust me, I know. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to be having another crew go out, especially to investigate these strange reports of the odd, what was it, strange fighters. I need to know more about this. We're going to have to send a crew out to investigate that. And I mean just investigate it. I don't mean blow up the whole damn facility or blow up all the ships and everything else. Let's just put that off to the side. But you gentlemen did a great job. I'm very proud of you. Rebellion is proud of you. Now, when you get to Raltier, I have arranged a surprise for you. I hope you boys enjoy it. Admiral Reagan.
Morbos? That was a pretty good one.
I bet. Admiral Reagan. And the comm kind of just winks out.
Okay, so Cool Jamal's illiterate, so he can't type anything, any information, or write down any information. So as he's coming back out of the shuttle, he's gonna be just like you're gonna see his lips moving, and he's just remembering Raltier, Commercial Tower, Raltier Trust Tower, Financial Institute, and he's gonna come out and he's gonna be like, Mercer, quick, write this down or remember this: Raltier Trust Tower, Financial Institute. Open an account, Republican Trust, 5,817 blah, 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 credits. And like, oh, okay. I don't have to worry about that now. And
what is this all about?
I just spoke with the Admiral, and he said he's going to take care of the transport. Admiral Rick, right?
Oh, you mean Captain Riggs?
Apparently he's an Admiral now.
He's an admiral.
That's what he said.
Oh, way to go, him.
Yep. Good things happen to people in Havoc Squad. He said he's going to take care of this transport, and he wants us to go to Raltier next. And he gave us some information of how we can get set up there and get started on our next operation.
Well, I'm glad everybody's plans are working with ours. And how are we supposed to get 5,812,496 credits?
I didn't think about asking him that. It was a very short and brief conversation. He's arranging for a surprise for us there as well.
He's actually asking us to do, if I understand correctly from what Kojima said, I don't think he's actually asking us to place that money in the account. I think it's some kind of code.
Oh, yes. I know, I get it.
This is for our contacts, I'm pretty sure. Getting in touch with the cell that's there.
Now, is Salin saying he thinks it's a code? Or is that John?
Well, I'm agreeing with Salin.
That's me as Salin saying that, as Kojima's been relating, I'm saying Salin was saying, I think it's some kind of code.
Some kind of code. You think you can decipher it?
No, I don't think it's like that. I think it's some kind of signal. So when we land and we open this Republican Trust account, their people on the planet will know that it's us, that they can come and fix up our ship or whatever the hell they're going to do.
It's just the way to reach the rebel cell on that planet.
Now, did he
It's
say?
the
That's it,
access. It's the access protocol for contacting the rebel cell.
Now, did he say where
So
the?
we can't just announce our presence.
Did he say where this Reltier Trust is?
It's in the Reltier Trust Tower.
Okay, and where is that?
Cambriel, in the capital city of Cambriel.
Oh, it's capital.
It's a good thing this Kojima has a good memory.
And I'll look at Varric and we're like, did our engineer mention what city to go to? That you have to meet up with a certain individual for what, I don't know, I guess she would be extra training for you? And I'll look at Salin as well.
I'm just going to sort of look puzzled and be like, what?
Yes, our contact is an individual described as a beggar that will be near the rebel base on Reltier.
So before
having
we...
not sort of been there for that sort of conversation, I'm just looking like well confused at this point. I'm like, a beggar?
Beggar again? Didn't they already do that? Is that what they do for all their rebel cells? Just look for the random beggars?
So I'll look. I'll try to contact. Go back a couple pages here. Back to Colonel Ixon Frailer, because they took that information and maybe they might have been able to look at it, or they can figure out information where a rebel base on Reltier, preferably. If it's only one in Cambria, we'll see if that matches up. But I want to contact him to find a rebel base on Reltier.
Okay. So you hear the telltale clicks of the kind of encryption chirps of the encryption code kind of locking into place. And you hear the familiar voice of the colonel. Mercer, is that you?
Sir, yes, sir. We got to the ship where we needed. The Bacta has been spaced and is no good for anybody. Blood 2 and Blood 3 are on their way or should be already there. We did find them and they are in health.
They have quite the stories for me. But anyway, I'm glad to hear that you at least got the transport and kept that damn Unit 88, I think it was, from taking control. Well, I got to admit, I mean, you boys did a great job, but what can I... Thought you were done here. What can I do for you?
Well, sir, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but we do need one last request. You said you took information from our ship, which was vital for the rebellion. I need one destination.
All right.
A base on Reltier.
Well, let's have a look. Hang on just a moment here. And you just hear the tap, the telltale tapping of keys here. Yes. Yes. I've heard of this base. It's the Reltieri. It's a Reltieri financial department. They basically handle, since Reltier is basically a financial planet. A lot of people, a lot of banking, a lot of offshore accounts, as it were. A lot of money passes through. It's both a very rich and a very poor planet. If it's hard to explain. Anyway, the Reltieri Trust is a financial unit. They're charged with getting funds and depositing safe money and investing it back into the galaxy, so the rebellion can make more money in turn to fight the Empire. They also employ slicers in order to steal money and other goods from the Empire and help fund us. So what do you need to know about them?
Understood, sir. The less you know, I think the better be for yourself. But we are headed to Reltier in case you want to get a hold of us, and it's me no respect by not telling you or letting you know on our further mission.
Well, that's not a problem. As a matter of fact, When you get there, at least you talk to the base's leader, which I'm sure you end up will. His name is Major Fitch Surian. Tell him I said hello. He's gonna hate you. He still owes me money, too. We had a game of cards a while back, but that's besides the point. He's a good man. Listen to him. He knows what he's talking about. But I'll tell you right now, you had our help here. We had a couple of pilots on standby, but don't expect any help from the financial unit. They're not soldiers. Not a damn single one of them. So if you've got anything you've got to do... Yeah. Excellent. Well, if that's the end of that, you boys be safe. May the force be with you. And he winks out.
All right, and I'll come back and let the boys know whatever they're doing, kind of letting them know that Reltier Trust is an actual rebel base itself. We don't have to actually look for a couple places. So, finding, and I'll look at Varric and I'll say, I'll leave that situation to you. I think you might be able to help out, find who this person that you're looking for is. Or, and I'll look at Salin, maybe the one who see things that aren't there before they're there.
Speaking of seeing things, Salin, you gonna tell us whose ink sac you just sprayed all over the bulkhead?
I'll add out a long sigh and I'll say, well, many years ago, but before I joined the rebellion, I used to run a freight ship, nothing illegal, nothing contraband, just cargo. Then one day we were stopped by the Empire. I just thought it was a standard inspection. And when they came aboard, they found some contraband. Now I was the captain of that ship. I've no idea how the contraband got on board. The next thing I knew, myself and the crew were taken by the Empire. We were imprisoned. I don't know what happened to the rest of the crew. We were separated. I was lucky. I managed to escape, and I went in search of the rebellion. It was only a while later I found out that one of our crew had actually tipped off the Empire to our presence and what we were carrying on board the ship. And I sort of looked down at the body, give it a little kick, and I was like, that was him.
Kojima will nod and say, traitor, then maybe you're a bit too kind for giving him the end that he got. Too clean and too quick.
It was more than he deserved, but I've no wish to see people tortured. We're not the Empire, after all.
True enough.
I'll leave that judgment to you.
I'll look at the engineer and I'll say, do you think we can get this rust bucket to Thyfera? Sorry, not Thyfera, to Reltier.
Yeah, I just figured it was story time. You just wanted to stand there and just keep beaking off. I mean, to be quite honest, you could have told that story while we were flying. Anyway, look, I'll be in the engineering. Come on, Jens.
Varric, as the man speaking, moves to stand in front of him and look down at him.
You got an engineer? Hiding one in your cloak? Is one of them an engineer? Keep this thing flying? I get it. You know, you're a big, scary, intimidating man. I just don't care. You want to kill me? Go ahead. Then try to find someone who could fix this thing. Keep it running.
Pretty sure we can find someone on the planet to replace you if necessary.
Go right ahead. I don't care. I just want to keep this thing flying. I want to stay alive. So get out of the way.
No one else needs to die here today. Just do your job, engineer. I'm heading to the cockpit. I'm going to try and fly this thing to Reltier.
Good man. Oh, wait. Before you do, just have a look at the sat nav. It's a bit wonky. You're going to need some help trying to fly it. If any of you know anything about astrogation, just trust me. When you get up there, you'll see what I mean. And he just goes kind of plodding off with Jens to engineering.
I look at Kojima, Mercer, and Varric, and I say, well, I know a little bit about astrogation. It's not my speciality, but
And I'll slap Salin on the back and says, "You'll figure it out. You always do." And I'll head back into our ship to go talk with Arbol.
if anyone wants me, I'll be in the cockpit. I'll open the comms on the ship so that we can stay in communication, and I'll sort of start making my way towards where I think the cockpit would be.
Sure. And it's pretty straightforward. You kind of see like there's like as you walk to the end, you kind of see one door that opens to a small turbo lift, and that turbo lift basically just will take you right up to kind of like a corridor with kind of like several, like probably about 8 or 9 rooms. One's got like a small little like cantina / mess hall in there. There's like 4 or 5 like personal rooms. And then it all kind of like goes right down to the kind of like cockpit area where it's got basically about 3 seats or 4 seats, excuse me. One for the you got the pilot, the co-pilot, a gunnery station that if it was working would actually be pretty good. It's kind of like a 3-dimensional kind of like think of it like it's turret mode for like basically in all the things. So I mean, you can switch between guns and everything else. It's kind of fancy. And then of course you have a communications station. And other than that, though, it would be also really nice if it hadn't been for like all the like wrappers and like garbage and everything else that's just kind of sitting around. Like it's like these people just did not take care of this ship at all. It's very much a like if you gave Dave Lister control of a ship. If you watch Red Dwarf, it's like just that kind of a mess. Very, very unfortunate. So yeah, so that's pretty much what you see. Other than the turbo lift door, there is another door that kind of like off to the side that kind of leads to, I guess, what would be the engine room. So you've got like kind of like the engine room basically sitting underneath, and then you've got this large cargo bay.
Kojima will probably also go with Salin to take a look at the different systems, either help him out with astrogation or take a look at the gunnery station. Just see what exactly doesn't work there and stuff like that. Just check over everything with him. So if he goes to the piloting controls, then maybe Kojima will go to the astrogation computer and check that out.
Okay. So as you go in, you kind of like push some like food wrappers and like other bits of stuff and papers and just kind of like just crap out of the way and whatnot, and then
things have been spilled on it and buttons are sticking and stuff like that.
Pretty much.
Can I do a quick system check on the astrogation, like just try to get a read?
Sure.
Like just a simple scan of our immediate area or something that I can just verify like how reliable the navigation computer is. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, not a problem.
Do you want me to roll for that?
Make me a basically just make me a 2 difficulty check.
Okay. So I don't know how you want to determine the failure, but I got 2 advantages. Well, there's no actual failure, but there's just 2 advantages. So I'm not sure how you want that to be interpreted.
So basically, like as you're kind of trying to do a scan, you can definitely tell that something's jammed. Like one of the main sensors is kind of like it's stuck in one position, but at the same time, as it's kind of like wriggling back and forth, this thing trying to like get into the right position, you actually do seem to pick up something from far away. It's actually an Imperial Victory class cruiser that is actually heading for the planet of Thyphira. But you can tell, luckily, because you've scanned it, you can tell that it's at least a little ways away. Like you've got time before it picks you up on its sensors.
Salin, I just checked the navigational computer, and we can't get any precise navigation out of it, but I did pick up an Imperial cruiser coming in on us. I recommend we get this rust bucket moving.
I'm going to sort of like run over to the astrogation sort of station, and I'll see what. Obviously, like check. Yeah, Kojin was absolutely right. That's what I can see, and I'll be like, we need to warn the base. I'll jab like the comm button, sort of like for the ship's comms to get in touch with the other two, and I'll be like, Mercer, are you there? We've got an Imperial ship inbound towards Slyfera. Say Victory class cruiser. It's an Imperial Victory class cruiser. We need to get out of it pretty sharpish, but we need to send a comms and at least warn the base before we go.
All right, do what you got to do. And I'll kind of like start. I'll like yell at the same time. Arball is safe out. Come, and then I'll start running. What do you need me to do? For Salin.
Just radio the base and let them know what's going on. I'm trying to get this piece of working, and then I'll try and get us out of here.
I'm going to check the gunnery station, see if we can get that operational, at least to some capacity. And Kojima will move to the gunnery station and just do, again, like basically a systems check, mechanical systems check to at least determine what is inoperable, if it's inoperable.
I'll sort of shout to you as you're running off towards the gunnery station. If I remember correctly, normally these things have like half a dozen or so people like firing the guns. I don't think there's any one single station.
Okay. Well, then I'll check whatever fires guns. That's what I'm going to check, because if we get any of those guns working, we need them.
Okay. So then make me a mechanics check. It'll be a difficulty of 3.
Okay, I'm going to flip a destiny point, because it'd be really good if we could have a gun working, just in case.
At this point, can I assist potentially? Because obviously I can shout out like what readouts I'm getting from the ship, etc., from the ship's systems.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, not a problem at all.
So is that a boost?
Yeah, that'll be a boost. I mean, I don't really think you need to roll, but that being said, since you were assisting him, you're not paying attention to doing, like, you're not doing any flying or anything. Ship's not moving. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. I'm just like, he's right. If these Imperials like put pedal to the metal and get it, we need them guns.
Yeah, we need at least one gun.
Even if it's just the top turret, man.
Okay, so we've got 3 failures, 2 advantages, and a triumph. So we have no guns, but...
Well, you don't... Because you're making a roll to see what happened to the guns, why they're not working, and what you can do maybe to fix it. And you've got no idea.
Okay.
But I want you to tell me what your triumph is. So you got one of those. What happens?
Okay, so I don't know why the guns are not working. Okay, can I say that with the Triumph, I at least know the type of problem it is, so that I know if it's a system, like a computer system problem, or if it's a mechanical, actual, like physical problem somewhere. So I don't know specifically what it is, but I know what type of problem it is. Like, it's not a computer problem; it's an actual physical problem with the guns or something like that.
Oh, definitely, for sure. As a matter of fact, I think that's cool. So yeah, as you're like, you're trying to figure it out. It doesn't seem to want to turn on. Like, there's something's wrong, and you realize that there's a very good chance, and it seems to you that the guns are definitely suffering some type of a mechanical problem, a physical issue.
Hardware.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I'll get on the comms to the group, and I'll be like, I checked out the guns, and it's not a system problem. It seems to be a hardware problem. I don't know if anybody's if there's some way we can fix this before we get out of here.
I don't think we can. I'm doing all I can, and the best we're going to do is get this astrogation computer working and get the hell out of here. Let's just hope Mercer's won the base.
You know, I'm kind of hearing everybody. Just assist Salin. Try to get us out of here as fast as we can. And I'll go to the computer system. Computer back to the terminal where I was at. Instead of calling them, I'm actually going to give them a warning signal. It's a lot faster and less need for opening up anything.
Okay, yeah, and I'm just going to be trying to get the astrogation computer working.
Okay. Just to let you know, the astrogation computer works. It just seems to be a little wonky.
That's it. Yeah, I'm just trying to get a result out of it. Just trying to coax it into some form of life.
Yeah. Give me just give me an astrogation check. Difficulty is 3.
Okay, not a problem. If Kojimo doesn't object as well, I'd like to, if possible, take the boost dice from his 2 advantages.
Sure. Yep.
Yep.
Okay. It's taken me a bit longer than I anticipated. This thing's got some weird quirks in it.
They weren't kidding about
this
this being
being. I can get us out of here at least.
However, though, with your like trying to fiddle with the trying to program it in, you do give someone a boost die, like with those 2 advantage. You will give the next person a boost die in order to help kind of do the next like computer check or the next check to program.
Okay, in which case I'll shout out there, but I think there's a problem with some of the secondary systems we need to bypass too. Can if I direct you, can any of you lot get there, and I'll carry on trying to get this thing working?
We got no guns. We got wonky navigation. Maybe we should just reroute power to the engines and try to just go for speed and just get the hell out of here. If we can get that engineer make himself useful.
Yeah, at that moment you hear like over the intercom, are we going or what?
Baron, we need your help with the astrogation systems.
I had a feeling. All right, hang on. I'm going to reroute it down to engineering, and you just kind of like, basically you see the astrogation kind of wink out for a second, like at least on your end and down to his end. All right,
I've already put the coordinates in, Baron. All you've got to do is activate the drive and get us there.
Right, good man.
I'm heading to the piloting station. I'll reconnect to the comms once I'm there.
And he types it in. Right, are you ready to go?
I've got my finger on the button, Baron.
Let's do this. You've got full power. And just kind of.
Excellent. Remind me to put you down for a raise, and then I'll hit the button.
Yeah. you just hear kind of a mumble as the comms get turned off. And actually, before you do, it's like, Jens, don't touch that. And then the comms kind of like wink out.
That would be a threat.
That'll be your threat, yeah. And again, once the familiar view of the stars kind of like starting to like pull themselves towards you as your ship just heads out, and moments later a Victory Star or Victory class Star Destroyer kind of like jumps in. A couple of TIE fighters like quickly scrambling out to kind of like look around, and all they can see is your trail. Like it's gone. So you are now on the way to Raltier. Is there anything that you gentlemen would like to do before you actually like jump out of hyperspace for kind of like for advanced time kind of a thing?
Yeah, work on systems, mechanics, whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like Mercer says, if we can get any of the guns online or any of the systems we can bring online, obviously with the help of Baron, then we will try and do so as we're sort of travelling. But I'm going to be pretty much stuck in the cockpit, 'cause as soon as we drop out, I've got to pilot this lumbering heap of...
Yeah.
Am I correct in seeing, if this is the right layout, that we also have shields on the ship?
You do have shields, yes.
Okay.
And the shields are the one thing that do work. Like it's one of the few things that do work. So there's that.
Cool Jamal
Okay.
will be back in the Finders Keepers during the flight once all the basic system checks have been done and we're just traveling through space. He's going to go through the ordnance that they took from Thyfera, and he's going to do another quick little inventory. And in particular, he did a rush job in the last session, just quick little, okay, we got this, we got this, we got this. But now he's going to actually go through them very thoroughly and carefully, and he's going to examine them. He's going to check like the arming mechanisms and everything. That he's going to determine that which ones are operational or which ones are duds and that kind of thing. And just he might go through that with the quartermaster as well. He'll just inventory those things.
Sure, not a problem. Yeah, and Arbel will also say, hey, look, if we can convert some of these freighter containers, I could try and make like some kind of a room, like a quartermaster station, where we keep weapons and whatnot have you. If this is going to be our ship, is this going to be our ship? Because I don't mind this. It's a bit of a fixer-upper, I'm saying, but I'm thinking we could probably turn this into one hell of a ship. You know what I mean?
It's already our ship, so set up whatever you need.
I like it. It's a good thing we got a crane in here. And he points up, and there you can see. Well, you didn't notice before, but you notice now. There's actually like a cargo crane that just kind of like moves on, like kind of like in a gimbal around, and just to pick up like the cargo containers and kind of like stack them, unstack them, whatnot have you. And he already begins kind of programming the crane, and it starts like picking up the kind of like these like sea can sized freighter containers and kind of moving a couple here, moving a couple there, just kind of getting a bunch of them kind of set up in such a way that he's got like this kind of like large thing. He's like, oh, okay, we'll see what else I need. Oh, I need some shelving. I need some shelving. Yes. And you just see him like he's running around trying to grab tools and like start setting up racks. He's starting to set up like weapon racks and everything else. He's like, all right, the next thing I'm going to need is tools, but I don't think I'm going to get any tools around here. I might have to shop for them, but I'll see what I can do. Wait, where were we headed again?
Going to Raltier next. Let us know anything you need. We'll try to pick it up on the planet if we can find it.
Raltier, huh? This might not be a bad thing. I've got a buddy who owes me a favor on Raltier. I think I might be able to pick up some stuff for us, depending on whether or not you guys have the credits. I mean, you guys do have credits, don't you?
Yeah, Salin's good for it. He's got lots of credits.
Really? Salin? Huh.
Oh yeah, he was covering my tab at Morbos.
Oh wow! Oh damn! Oh wow! He must be loaded.
That's why I was watching his back in the hangar bay there.
This makes sense. This makes sense to me now. Like, what is he like? Own a moon or something, or like a mining outfit? Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So once I get enough tools and stuff, I can probably get us something really nice. I can fix weapons during missions. Maybe try and even put some attachments on. I don't know. We'll figure something out. Anyway, I'm excited. I don't know if you're excited. I'm excited, and I'm gonna start.
I'm loving it. It's great to have you on board.
Yeah, me too. Me too. It's nice to be with an outfit that's not all about, oh, get me another data pad. Get me another data pad. Swear to God, if there was one more person that asked me for a data pad, I was gonna find a lightsaber and I'd hack him apart too, like your buddy Varric. Anyway, all right. Well, I got work to do. You got work to do. I'm gonna start cataloging all these frag grenades and thermal detonators. I don't know what you plan on blowing up, but you can sure blow up something, like a lot of things.
Anything Imperial that we find, that's what's going to get blown up.
Fair enough. All right, I tell you what. Give me a few hours. I'll have everything kind of set up. We'll give you a report, and it should be good. Okay.
Roger that.
All right, good. Get the hell out of here. And he just starts grabbing a couple of crates of ordnance and starts bringing it over. Starts checking stuff kind of in his area. So that's that. Yeah.
I was going to say, during the time of travel, Varric is going to, being that he doesn't really have any mechanical inclinations, he can't really help in that regard. So basically, he's just going to kind of explore and try to familiarize himself with the layout of the ship. He's also going to go to the berthing area, and he's going to basically claim one of the crew quarters near the dorsal end of the ship, and having some skill with gunnery, he's going to check out that double laser turret in the back. And I know that the weapons aren't functioning, but just kind of familiarize himself with the controls and the layout of them. He's just been, some time back there trying to, get to know the controls and the layout and whatnot.
Right on. That's cool. I like that. Okay, so let's start by cranking out some mechanics checks. So, Gabe, you want to fix up what exactly?
Basically, systems from the quickest that can be fixed to harder, unless it takes harder to fix the lighter ones. Then I'll kind of back and forth. But it's just basically overall systems, not necessarily the guns itself, but more the solid, make the core of the ship. That's basically what I want to start looking at. Fix the core, and then we can fix the lighter stuff later.
Okay. So, and again, this is going to take a little while. This is probably going to take about anywhere between 8 hours and like 12 hours to get to Raltier in hyperspace. So, I mean...
Oh, wow, that's quick. I was expecting a couple days. Crap. What can I fix in that little amount of time? That's not very much time at all.
Well, you can definitely get the tractor beam sorted out in about 4 hours. So that shouldn't take much time at all. Retape the fuzzy dice, in the rearview mirror.
Yeah. Now with the, I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but fixing the retractor system, will that actually help with fixing something else in the ship?
Tell you what, make me a mechanics check. It'll be a difficulty of 2, 3 to fix the tractor beam, and we'll see what you roll. And if something happens to fix it, all the better.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to get that. You got to get that air freshener, that pine freshener. All right. You know what? That's actually not necessarily a bad thing. So the tractor beam, yes, it didn't seem to want to get together. It looks a little bit more complicated than you'd like. However, with that triumph, tell me what happens. As long as it's not like, all of a sudden you have guns again, because that would just be silly.
So all our guns start working, and
if they're now Death Star lasers.
Let's see. Wow. I'd say signs of its life is showing up, but it's like you said, it's going to take a lot more work, and with my diagnostics and everything I'm doing, it's actually showing inside the actual main engineering that actually has a little bit of power outage that's not giving a lot of the outage to most of the ship, so it either has to get a new power source of some sort, but I can transfer some of from the other ones, but it's going to be very lightly, so I'm going to have to go back and actually work on diverting energy, and of course letting our engineer friend know exactly what's happening. He may have been overlooked it and realized that a lot of systems weren't always being used, so they never really turned on that power source.
Yes. So yeah, you inform Burren, and he's like, "Oh yeah, no, that's a good one, Mercer. I forgot about that. Hang on a second. All right, hang on, give this a shot." And you kind of hear some like clanking, and you see him kind of like moving stuff. All of a sudden, like you do see the kind of the tractor beam, like I guess power systems. All of a sudden, it goes from like this dull blue to like this like light blue and then white and then shining. And it just yells back at you, "How's that?"
Perfect. Whatever you did, we need to keep it there. and I'll kind of run back or try to find him. I'll be there. Where the coordinates are you? And I'll kind of like try to make my way to an engineering where I think we have to go up and down, and I'll find it.
Well, the tractor beam panel is actually in the main cargo area. So you just have to kind of like turn to the right, kind of walk over, and kind of pop in. So that part's no big deal. The engineer's name is Burin. That's what his name is, and his little buddy name is the red shirt. Look, he's a good kid, okay? Jeez, you guys are jerks. Go ahead and just straight up murder Hobie and crew. Surprised the first thing out of your mouth wasn't, "Hey, what do they have on them?"
Guess who's going on the first away team? Yes.
Poor kid. Anyway, so that's the name of them. You easily make your way like just over, and even the door to engineering's open because it's just warm in there with the heavy engines and everything else. At least in with the kind of the main power plants. You got that, definitely have that sorted out. Also, Salin, I'm assuming you want to try and fix astrogation.
Yeah, I'll be whatever systems I can access from the sort of front part of the ship. I'll be trying to give a once over and do what I can.
Okay, excellent. Basically, make me a mechanics check. It'll be a difficulty of 3, but you are going to gain a boost die because you've been tinkering away at this thing even before you even started. Now that you're in hyperspace, obviously you've got enough time to kind of like get in there and try and sort that thing out.
Can Kojima help him with that? Okay. Since they were both working on it before.
Yeah, definitely. If you wanna help, give yourself a second boost die.
I have a question.
Sure.
I'm not sure how feasible, but I was thinking, would it be possible to attempt to give a boost die to someone when they start working on the weapon systems by using my gunnery skill to just kind of check out everything and maybe have some idea of where the failure might be to give them that idea where to look, or is that just not feasible?
Well, okay. I mean, I kind of see where you're going with it, but in my mind, the gunnery skill is how well can you play a first-person shooter, kind of a thing with a joystick and like in shooting. That's what I'm thinking with gunnery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or am I wrong? Is any, would I be wrong in that though? I mean, is everyone else?
Well, I'm not having any luck with the astrogation computer.
Yeah, no kidding.
Piece of junk.
Do you want me to stab it? Will that help?
Stab.
I don't think that'll help. Thanks though, Varric. Hopefully, when we get to Raltier, the rebels there can sort this piece of junk out or rip it out and replace it. Whatever. We need someone to look at it. We're not going to get very far with this piece of as the astrogation computer.
So as the ship is, I'm assuming you guys are all still finished because I don't really think we're probably going to RP through 8 hours.
Yeah, just fixing stuff. I mean.
Yeah, basically each person will try to fix one thing in the time that we go there, and that's good enough.
Cool. Sure.
And I think myself and Bren will actually be working on the main power source to try to divert energy to the system, so that maybe helping other places that we didn't think of and kind of working together to set that up with his expertise and my skill.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, he doing his mechanics checks. A few things are kind of spiffed up a bit, but you could tell it's a lot of it's missing parts. With the guns, it's something mechanical that they're gonna have to look at the actual guns on the outside of the ship, which I wouldn't suggest going outside on the ship while you're in hyperspace. I'm pretty sure there's something bad with that will happen. So there is that.
I think you were suggesting that as a possible tide change, Mike. What happens when they go on the outside of the ship in hyperspace?
Yeah, we can send Burhand out there. I'm sure he won't mind.
I don't think you want to send your engineer out there.
Jens. That's why we have Jens.
You're not sending the poor kid out there. Jeez, you guys are monsters. That's it. I'm throwing a Rancor at you later. Remind me. All right. So, if that being said, things just progress as they progress. The time goes forward, and you drop out of hyperspace. The planet of Raltier, just kind of like sitting there, kind of like a dull, almost like a dull gray, like a kind of a dark. It's dark. It's almost black, but like there's lights everywhere dotting it in these like beautiful geometric patterns, like all across the planet. As you make your way in, there's coordinates that are uploaded to your computer by an unknown source. They tell you Raltiri Trust, and they kind of give you like spatial coordinates. Please arrive by shuttle.
Okay, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to sort of set the ship in orbit, and I'm going to sort of get in touch with like Kojim or Mercer and like Varric, so take them off to one side, and I'm going to say, look, the crew we've got on board so far, they've been straight with us, but I don't greatly want to leave the ship here in orbit with just them aboard. Are the three of you going to be all right to take the shuttle down and sort out this deal? I can bring the ship in once you've made contact with the rebels. I think one of us should stay up here.
That's fair. I think Arbel's the only one we can really trust, even though we've only known him a short time. But definitely, I share your reservations about the other two.
But didn't Arbel say he needed to go down?
Well, take Arvel down with you. I'll stay here on the ship. Once you've made contact with the rebels, you can send me the coordinates for landing, and I'll bring the ship in.
As you're seeing that, you hear a from behind you. Oi.
I'll turn around.
Look. What am I going to do with a vessel? Can I pilot it? No. The fact that you're going to try and park this thing in orbit without going to the spaceport right there is indication that you need me as much as I need you. I don't want to.
You're right.
I don't want to leave. We do need each other. I don't want to take this ship and fly away. What the fuck am I going to do with this thing? Look at it. It's huge. It's massive. And it's just me and an offwit who can do nothing but hand me tools. He's a good lad, and I feel for him, but he's slow. So what am I going to do with a ship this big? Try and get a crew? Come on, half the systems don't even work on this thing. Look, I'm happy staying. If you're all going to go, you can go. Tell you what, if I leave with this thing, you can track me down and kill me. As a matter of fact, and he takes a data pad that he's holding, and he kind of types some stuff in, and he hands it to you. This is the computer signal that every ship puts out. If I double cross you, here you go. You can track us. You can track us up to a sector away.
I'll take the data pad off him, sort of look at it, like memorize the signal, and then I'll hand the data pad to Mercer.
And not realizing he had memorized it, I'll look at it and I'll be like, you know what? If you're willing to give us this right here, I'm willing to give you my trust for now. And I'll kind of give it back to him. And I said, in fact, if anything that you see, sensor-wise or anything, you're going to contact us, and we'll be back.
So right by me. I've got a comm system. I've already took the liberty of linking it up to you, so yeah, I'll be in touch if I need it. I'm just going to go talk to your man, Arnold, and I'm going to try and get a list for him for certain parts. Now, what about repairs, things like that? I mean, things that we can't repair. Is something
We
going to happen?
we worked a lot. What I suggest is sleep on it. Get some rest. We've worked a really good hard time. I wish I could have some rest, but duty calls. Get some sleep, and we have a list of things we do need to fix. Fix what you can with the parts you have. Take some of the parts of the non-working, if you can, and put it to use on something that you can fix with it.
Tell us what you need, and we'll try to see what we can arrange on the planet after we conclude our business there.
All right. Well, I'll pass it to you, quartermaster, and hopefully you can find what I need.
Okay, whilst that's going on, Mike, I'm going to basically have a look at our sort of scans of these sort of local area, sort of from the cockpit, and I'm basically going to look to see if there's any sort of space debris or anything similar where I can effectively like park the ship, so that if someone jumped into the system, they wouldn't immediately go, "Oh, what's that large freighter doing just sitting outside of orbit?"
Well, okay, so you do see there are several things that you see. One, you see an orbital custom station. So this station, basically, if you want to do business on Raltier, you park your very large freighter at this spaceport, and then you can take shuttles down to the planet. Especially, it's mostly for ships that are too large to land. For small shuttles, it doesn't matter. You go right to the port register, or do it over the comms register, and then just carry on. As far as debris, there's not a lot of debris around. It's actually a very clean system because they try and keep it clean because it's a large financial planet that does a lot of trading and everything else. Matter of fact, one of the largest hubs, if you think about it, like the New York Stock Exchange. This is more like one of the large hubs of the Galactic Stock Exchange. Another one being on Coruscant, and another one being on even can't remember the other one, but I'll get back to you on that one. But
Okay.
there are several hubs of these main trading. This is one of them, and this is like the NYSE, the one that's got a lot of press, like the Nikkei and the Dow and whatnot have you.
Okay, in which case I'm going to get on the comms to like all of the crew on board the ship, and I'm just going to say it's going to look far less suspicious if I take the ship into the orbital dock and land it there, and we take the shuttle down to the planet, rather than if we just sit out here in open space. So if no one has any objections, I'm going to take her in.
No, that's fine. We're here to open an account. That's our official business.
I'm going to send the standard landing comms over to the orbital platform, and I'll take her in. Once we get inside, we can take the shuttle and head down to the planet, and I'll start sort of plotting in the course, etc.
Sure.
And Mike, what is the general common knowledge that we would know about this planet? Like, is there any special protocols, like we shouldn't be armed when we go down there, or is this an Imperial controlled planet?
This most certainly is.
Okay.
However, you can find out more information if you make me a knowledge underworld check. It would be a difficulty of 2.
Okay. 2 successes and a threat.
Okay. So you also know, you specifically also know that with areas of large, money transactions, it attracts a lot of crime, and Raltier is definitely no exception. One of the largest gangs, one of the most dangerous gangs on Raltier is a group called the Raltieri Tigers. They are a no-nonsense gang that has their hands in a lot of different pies, as it were. Extortion, money laundering, illegal gambling, the works. And these guys don't mess around. They will, they're ruthless, and even Imperials know, like stormtroopers and army troops, they know not to go to certain areas. Mostly because either they've been bought, at least the officers have been bought, or they just disappear. And more often than not, even like highly trained Imperial soldiers have just gone missing for absolutely no reason, and no one questions it.
Okay. So there's nothing immediate that I need to share with everybody else. There's no immediate danger for that information, so I'll just file that in my mind.
Sure. I mean, and the only other thing, obviously, is, you know, as it would be in any kind of setting, don't walk into a bank with a weapon, because that would just be silly.
Yep.
That's just common sense, right? I mean, you walk around with a, you know, if you're like a mercenary and you're walking around with a, you know, with a pistol and everything else, you know, you keep it holstered. If you have a larger weapon, you know, you either keep it slung down and off to the side, or don't bring it in. You know, they would even have like a place for you to put your weapon, so before you even go in, you know, you can't mess with that.
So sidearms only, and then we have to check them in.
Exactly.
And
I'd suggest
what's their policy on non-humans, since two of us are? Is there anything on that factor?
No, it's, I mean,
Okay.
you know, it's a human, you know, it's kind of a bit more of a human-controlled world as it's getting closer to the core worlds. However, you know, they're all about money. So
Okay.
it's like, we don't care what you look like as long as you have money. Money is good.
Okay. That's good. That's all I wanted to know.
Except they have orders to shoot weakways on sight. But hey, that's besides the point.
We don't do business with desert dwellers.
Yeah, you're Skywalkers. They have to go. Anyway, so as you make your way to the the dock, you know, you do hear a like kind of an automated message. You know, please head to docking bay 4 Alpha.
Received and understood.
You know, and on your like kind of on your own like kind of not really radar, but your own like coordinates, you know, you just kind of like see this like kind of like ping as you know, you're kind of like flying it to the area. You dock up just fine. You know, docking bay kind of like sucks to the side of your ship, and you are by all intents and purposes, you can leave. You can go to the you can go onto the actual customs house. It's not huge. Like, it's kind of like one of those weird situations where it's like a small building but with a Walmart-sized parking lot. Like, it kind of doesn't make sense. Like, there's tons of ships all parked along, and you know, there's areas where these guys congregate. There's a cantina, however it's small, like a regional airport. You know, it's like kind of got a small little place for peanuts and a couple of cheap beers. You know, this also has a customs house. It also has like little shops here and there. Other than that, you know, most people, there's also like a shuttle that goes from, you know, the customs house down to the planet itself. So since you gentlemen obviously have a shuttle, you don't have to worry too much about that. You know, you can just head down. The customs individual does kind of like quickly kind of chat on, you know, asking you very simple questions. You know, do you have any like any livestock? Do you have any fruit? Do you have any wild or exotic animals on board? Are you planning on selling these animals? You know, it's all the basics, you know, basic customs, you know, questions. You know, do you have any cocaine? Typical stuff, right? Like, you know, any days, any drugs, any booze.
As someone who's been like a freighter pilot for years before I joined the rebellion, I'll just give him sort of like standard answers.
Yeah.
You know, just sort of like I'll try and effect sort of like an unconcerned demeanor, saying I know we're just putting in for like a bit of a refit and repairs, no cargo at present time, etc.
Yeah, and he nods his head and he understands, because you know, he's a busy guy. He seems like he's like frazzled, like he's one guy trying to deal with like an entire Walmart parking lot full of ships with their own like crew and cargo and everything else. You know, and before he leaves, he said, "Well, just to let you know, your ship will be scanned. So you know, in case you're lying, yes. Goodbye." And he just kind of like tunnels off toward his next destination. So as you, I'm assuming you guys are probably going to head to your shuttle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, tell you what, just for the hell of it, make me a space piloting difficulty 3. See if you make it out of here.
Yep.
Nice. So you just kind of coast in. Matter of fact, not only do you coast in, and you just like perfect banking turn, and you just narrowly miss like this one, this kind of like that one asshole who's just kind of like trying to zip into a parking, zip into his docking bay. You just like expertly like kind of like twist around him, and you start heading down to the planet. Arbel obviously is going with you as he wants to pick up a few things himself. At this point, your comm starts going a little funny, and it starts like chirping. It starts making like strange staticky sounds, and you begin to hear something. It sounds like a person's voice, but like a person's voice that has that weird scrambler that makes them kind of sound like robotic, but not quite. And you just hear, "We know who you are. You will watch yourself on Raltier. If we have anything to say about it. If not, you will die." And at the very end of that, though, you just hear very faintly, "Please, help me. Help me." And it just cuts off.
Did anyone else hear that on the comms? I'll shout over my shoulder into the shuttle.
Well, that was creepy. Who the hell was that? Why does everybody keep contacting us everywhere we go? We have a big sign on our ship that says "We are rebels."
Fame, I
with our phone
suppose.
number.
I think
My
it's
only guess is. So go ahead.
I think it's likely that whoever was speaking was not in control of themselves at the time until the very end.
No, I think Varric's probably right, given what we know about this slicing of people to take them over. I suggest whatever we're going to do here, we get to the Raltier Trust Financial Institute as quickly as possible. We meet our contacts and then we get the hell out of here.
Agreed. Seeing as how they just said they're going to watch us and not necessarily stop us leads me to believe they're not the Imperials or even this Unit 88. This could be the third party, perhaps these Raltieri Tigers, and that was just their warning to us.
Don't forget
That's
our mission.
true. After all, why would the Empire bother giving us a cryptic warning? They'd have just called for us to stand down.
Yeah, they would want to stop us or capture us. They wouldn't just watch us. So this is a third party.
Well, remember, the Empire isn't fully in power here. They're at the mercy of these Tigers as well, so that could be why they would not immediately move against us.
True.
And remember, everything we do here is all secondary for our primary mission, which is getting the coding of these implants. It's not going to be an easy get out of here situation. I'm sure once we go down there, we'll have more of knowledge of what is actually going on. I hate coming into something without knowledge of anything. So for now, we work on our secondary jobs, do as much as we can, and remember our primary function of why we are here.
Well, let's open this account, get in touch with the Rebel Cell, and see if this Major Fitch knows more about who contacted us.
Okay, I'm putting the coordinates we were sent into the nav computer. I'll have us there as quick as I can.
And as you begin to fly down, the like the upper atmosphere giving way, you begin to get a good view of Raltir itself, or at least Canwy, or Cambriel, excuse me. Cambriel is a tower city, and you can imagine like downtown cores of cities, with skyscrapers. But now imagine these skyscrapers are 4, 5, 6,000 floors high. You can't even see the bottom. It's almost in a haze, as these towers are just massive, and when like some like just basically they're like plants like competing to try and reach the sun. These towers also have what seems to be a lot of walkways, bridges that span across to each other, making an almost like a city above itself. You see different landing pads in different areas. You also see in basic a lot of areas like the different names of these different towers. Following the coordinates, it does not take you long to find the Raltiri Trust building, a very attractive looking building, very nice, modern, but not not weird. Like just a very nice, a very like good looking building. There's like kind of an area for like several shuttles as you kind of make your way down. You're folding up the wings, landing gear comes back. You open up the gantry-way, and it's just kind of like a very nice area. Lots of people are walking around, smiling and talking. It seems to be that it's a very very jovial group, very jovial like people. You see before you like these like beautiful glass doors that kind of like lead into this like very nice kind of steel and soapstone kind of lobby, this gorgeous green, and you see this large sign kind of like in like that fake gold lettering, just says Raltiri Trust Financial Institution. You see a young man sitting at this kind of large like reception desk, and he looks like he's just tapping away on a computer.
I'm going to sort of like look at Kojima and I'll nod my head in the direction of the desk jockey.
All right, so Kojima will approach the desk jockey and he'll say, "We're here to open an account."
Oh, I see. All right. One moment, please. And when he starts tapping away on his, the name of the account.
Republican Trust.
Oh, I see. Okay. Republican Trust. I see. And how much would you like to deposit today?
Precisely 5,812,496 credits.
Oh.
Not a credit more or less.
Oh, I see. I do apologize, gentlemen. I unfortunately am unable to process a request of that magnitude. You will need to use the turbo lift right over there and speak to a branch manager. Do apologize, but if you gentlemen would go ahead in that direction, we will I'll get you up to see one of them. You'll forgive us, it's just a one of that size. It's kind of a big deposit.
Excellent. And I'll just lead the way. The others will follow, I'm assuming. Okay, so we'll go to the turbo lift.
And it opens up, and it seems to be an exterior turbo lift, but it's a really nice. It feels safe, but you can pretty much like look out and see all the rest of the towers and everything else. A lot of them smaller. The Raltiri Trust Tower is actually really quite large, but it almost seems like just there's a couple that are about the same size. You'd figure this building must have at least about 7,000-8,000 floors. It's like that big, which is quite big. But anyway, the turbo lift doors kind of close. This like kind of like very like Muzak synth pop, you know. Do 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 do. All of a sudden, so the turbo lift starts going up, but it kind of stops, and then all of a sudden, and it just begins plummeting straight down. I need the four of you to please make me some coordination checks. All four of you.
What's the difficulty?
Oh, yeah, right. Let's make it. We'll make it a 3, but I'm going to use every single black Destiny die, and you guys are going to get a purple and a red.
So two purple, 1 red.
2 purple, 1 red. Thank you.
So when this happens, Kojima will say, "Well, there goes our friendly welcome." Right.
Well, that's a mixed bag for me. 2 successes, 3 threats, and a despair.
Oh, I got a failure and 3 advantages. I'm not sure if that's what's worse, the despair or the failure.
Oh, we shall see.
Derek's
Okay.
probably fine.
Yeah. Varric actually made tea while you all felt the stomach-wrenching -5 Gs as you slammed into the roof of the... he was just like sitting there like sipping tea with, you know, the pinky out. And what's wrong with everyone?
Varric just hovers in space in the middle of the turbo lift.
Somebody wake up Varric. We're falling to our deaths.
Cross-legged hovering in space.
Okay, so we'll start with you, Varric. Although you kind of like get sucked up, as you're falling upwards, you manage to grab one of your companions and kind of like stop them from really slamming hard into that. You can pick which one you want to kind of help out. I'll just we'll fudge it along as it is.
I think probably Salin. Over time, it's been kind of subtle, but from that very beginning, that moment when they were thrown together and they didn't know if someone was who the spy was, and they may not be in control of themselves, he and Salin had that moment of like, you know, if it's me, you know, make sure you take me out, kind of thing. And there's been certain things, and like the very latest thing in the hold where, you know, he took that guy out that was pointing the weapon at him. So for whatever reason, he instinctively would reach out to protect him.
Okay. So that being said, instead of you like severely getting injured, what happens is Salin, he kind of grabs a hold of you and kind of slows your inertia down. You kind of like slam into the ceiling. You take kind of one, just kind of like a wound as you kind of like smash into it. Kojamal, you follow suit. You manage to kind of just move out of the way and not like kick the other two in the face as you slam into the top of the roof of the turbo lift as well. And Mercer, same thing. You manage to hit yourself. You guys, you and Mercer and Kojamal, you guys take about a wound as, you know, again, you kind of, you're slamming around, you're kind of bouncing around as this thing's just plummeting, and eventually it actually goes past through the cloud cover, even down into the lower areas of the like the planet, where it gets into like kind of like almost the ground, but not quite, and it kind of slows down as you guys kind of this time kind of like being more aware of it when you fall, you know, from the inertia kind of slowing down. You know, you guys for the most part land on your feet. The thing slows and stops and opens up, and inside you see a bunch of people kind of just like running around, you know, everywhere. It's kind of like the floor of the commodities market, you know, at like 9 a.m. on a Monday, where everyone's screaming, buy, sell, things are getting thrown everywhere. It's just total chaos inside there. You know, you hear, sir, he's hacked in, or he's sliced into the subsystems, and you know, and you hear this like kind of, well, I don't care what you do, just get it going, you know. And another guy's like, sir, I don't care, just do it. And you see the major kind of turn around. Who the hell are you?
And
Major
yep.
Major Fitzgerald, I presume.
Yeah? How did you get down here?
These compatriots or my comrades were sent here by a friend of yours, and I'll say, and I'm actually saying I say Colonel Ixon Frailer sends his regards.
Ah, that son of a... Yeah. Wait. You guys are from Havoc Squad? Okay, come with me. And the rest of you, just try and unscrew up these computers, okay? All right, well, listen, I got good news and I got bad news. Come into my office. And he just like walks into this kind of nondescript office. Doors open, you guys all walk in, doors closed. Look, have a seat. Listen, you caught us at a really damn bad time. We have a slicer problem. Not just any slicer problem, big slicer problem. Good news is it's not just our problem, it's also the bloody Empire's problem. There's this slicer on Raltier. He's like a folk hero or something, I don't know. But this is what he's doing. He's slicing into our systems. He's taking apart everything that we know. Last week we had to scrub all of our computers because he filled it full of hut porn. Do you know how disgusting that is? Anyway. Needless to say, not happy about the situation. But here's the big thing. This guy Dark Sun, he apparently found a way to put a special type of virus into computer systems all around Raltier. We don't know who he's working for or if he's working alone. But basically what this guy can do is he calls it some type of they call it a magnet virus or something. I don't know, to be honest. I was transferred from infantry because they needed someone here with leadership capabilities. Don't even get me started. They grabbed this program. Apparently he can take it, put it into a computer system, pull it back out again, and all of a sudden it's got like all the credits. It could just pull all the credits like a magnet or something. So he just throws it in, pulls it out. There's no trace of it anywhere, and he can get all of these. They can get hundreds of thousands of credits. They've already stolen from us at least 60, 70,000 creds. Thankfully, they hit the Empire even harder, 100, 150,000. Still, I don't know what's up with this guy, but I mean, he's got a weird, twisted sense of humor. I mean, the hut porn, and then every time I tried to make a communique, I had the head of a Rancor for the longest time. Then he put me on a Gamorrean, but I don't know. It's something's weird. Like for a guy who's so smart, who wants to just take money. Oh, and don't even get me started on the sabotage. Apparently, this guy's been sabotaging a couple other things too. A few turbo lifts here and there. I think he caused one of the building's anti-gravity units to shut off. 3 people died. They got sucked up into the atmosphere. Anyway, I don't know. I could sure use your help in finding this guy. But anyway, that's enough about me. Why the hell are you here?
We have a ship that needs repairs and refitting.
Hang on a sec. And you see him kind of like he does like the 2 finger tapping. And he's like on his computer and he kind of looks. Oh yeah, okay. Admiral Rigg. Right. Yep. Don't even worry about that. you sent me this message about 3 days ago. So yes, I've already got a crew. They're getting ready to start retrofitting and repairing your ship. What else we got here? Yes, apparently I'm also supposed to give you a bit of money. Congratulations, you're now the proud owners of 30,000 credits. What else we got here? Oh, and he's got a bit of a... Yeah, he got a bit of a surprise for you. Luckily, it came before you got here. And this is where we're going to put our tide change. What did the Admiral give you guys? Now, I'm just going to put in a little addendum at this point. Within reason. So, no, you can't all have, like, you know, Rancor mounts, you know, or lightsaber catapults, or, you know, silly things like that. But what did Admiral Rigg give you guys kind of as a very special reward for all the hard work you've done? And we'll start on the left with Varric.
Can you come back to me?
Okay, so we'll start with Kojamal.
Can I have a minute too?
Wow, so it's not like you guys are greedy. It's like, no, hang on. Give me a second. I got the core book in my hand. Just hang on.
Exactly.
That's terrible. You should be ashamed. Damn it, Salin, you were supposed to be the good one. All right, Mercer. Start with Mercer then. Mercer, what did he give you? You are muted. Okay.
No, I know. I don't think it's one item, like one big box or something, or is it like box?
You tell me, man. It's the tide change.
Oh, something that takes a little thought. And I'm not
Okay,
gonna say. Okay, go ahead.
You can go. Do you have an idea, or you
No,
want some more
I
time
was
to think
gonna,
about it?
I was gonna think, but I was gonna say I'm not gonna pass it on unless someone really had something.
Okay, just so we're not all stalling for time, I'll put like a simple one out there. I'm just gonna say it's not a thing that he gives us. It's another crew member. He's gonna assign us a specialist, someone who's highly specialized in an area that we are not particularly competent in. So since this is a slicing planet, he could give us a really excellent slicer that we can use to help us in our missions or secure our communications, things like that, since we seem to be getting a lot of strange people that seem to be able to contact us whenever they want. Or it could be like a weapons specialist or something like that. That's up to you to decide, whatever you think is appropriate. But I'm going to say it's a person that he's going to assign to us, a very some kind of expert that we could use in our missions.
Okay, sounds good. All right, Salin. Oh, you got
I'm
something
ready.
there?
Yeah, I was kind of playing off that idea, but rather than like a crew member person, but basically it's an individual that we can meet with as far as getting a piece of equipment like a weapon or armor. Basically, I don't know, like a whoever the rebel have, like person that can outfit us with either several small items or something major.
Well, okay. Technically, you already do have that, and that's
Okay.
Arbel, your quartermaster. So that's why he came down with you to the planet, because he's gonna grab some of that money that I just gave you and like start outfitting, fixing the ship, fixing you guys up with some spiffy kit, things like that.
Okay, well then I'm gonna need a minute.
Okay.
Okay, well, I was going to suggest that he's actually arranged for a shiny new astromech droid to be supplied with our ship and sort of taken aboard the ship to handle some of these sort of astrogation duties, etc., so that we're free to concentrate on other things.
Okay. Cool. Anybody else? Mercer? So I'm waiting on Mercer and Barrick.
Yeah, I think mine is going to be a lengthy holo recording of the captain or the, I think major. I think that would be higher, of the original Havoc Squad leader and of their team. And with this, our team can actually learn maybe a rank of skill from them after a long listening over time.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. Sorry, I had gotcha.
Like training videos or something like that, but
Training
it's
video.
them in action. Yeah.
God. Okay, cool. I like that.
So it's like a Havoc Squad montage video.
Montage. All right. And then, of course, we're left with Barrick.
Yeah, I'm stumped. I don't know. I'm struggling to come up with an idea for some reason.
Speeder bikes.
Well, how about as a suggestion, if you can't think of anything else, Varric, perhaps he's just arranged for like some generic like additional crew to come on board to like just fill out the ship rather than like a specialist, just sort of like general crew to like man the stations or something.
There we go. Yeah.
Maybe a gunner,
Yep.
just a gunnery guy who can man the ship's guns once we get them operational.
Like I said, I was just thinking general sort of like extra
Yeah, like,
crew.
yeah, exactly.
Redshirt.
So like, people to help kind of run, a cook, a maintenance guy, because you don't have maintenance droids,
Janitor.
Yeah,
You know?
maintenance droid or protocol droid or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. It fits with what everybody else, but it's a different option versus specialist and like an
Yeah,
astronaut.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Just regular crew. Okay. So we're going to take a 10-15 minute break right now while I two-finger type myself, because that's how I roll, these answers in, and then we will hopefully get a resolution to what Admiral Rigg gave you guys for all of your awesome hard work. And I just want to say that I'm really proud of you guys that you weren't like overly greedy about it. Like, I want a Corellian frigate and
We want a Crete Dragon.
Mon
Baby
Calamari
Crete
cruiser.
Dragon. 3 of them.
Yeah.
A black one, a red one, and a green one.
That's it. You're dying. You're dying after the break. Okay, so we will catch you guys in about 10 to 15 minutes. Please, if you haven't already, either log on to Facebook's Ties of Change role-playing game club, or if not, sign up and help us vote in what is going to happen with these 4 poor souls after the break. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching. So as we wait for the players to come back and kind of do their thing, I just want to again quickly mention the Ties of Change role-playing game club. It's a fantastic club for people who want to get together, who love Fantasy Flight Games, Star Wars, and want to be able to play and kind of make a difference, especially like now. We can, they have the ability to vote and change the story. What we're doing now is this was a break. We were having a tide change, and it was a chance for people to effectively move the story in an entirely different direction with making sure that all my prep means absolutely squat, which is great, especially when you're like me and you like to prep a lot for games. You just want to take your little notebook and go, nope, I don't need this because we got tide changes and stuff. So looking at the tide change, it looks like Varric definitely has it.
Sometimes I just don't know where I come up with these awesome ideas. It's amazing.
Yeah. I think it's a team effort myself, but I mean
Yeah, definitely. I have a couple quick things before we get back going, if I can.
Oh, yes, of course.
First, I'm not sure if we're meeting up with Arbel or if we were supposed to give him a list. Basically, what I was looking for was to, for those vibro swords, see about getting the 1 or 2 slots and possibly adding the edge to the second one. Those are the things I was looking for. So either I would have gave him that list or that's what I will communicate to him when we next meet.
Okay, now for a situation like that, you would need to give him
Okay.
and say, look, man, I need a molecular edge put on this thing, and and he will let you know. And basically, if you guys want to actually give me the list right now, just before we jump back in, if you're looking for either little things, if you're looking for big things, that's fine. But keep in mind, you guys have 30 grand. Which, I mean, if you want actually too, you can do this off. We can do this off out of game. So you guys can, we can post it on the groups page, and that's for any of you viewers, if you guys have a group page, like a secret group page, it's really great for being able to kind of organize games and get like things like this kind of like in like kind of done in that way without bogging down gameplay, like what actually Dennis just put in the chat, which is exactly you want to keep that narrative kind of pushing forward, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I'll send you a list of my stuff later.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, and thanks, Gabe. Yeah, so each one of you basically will have 7,500 credits to kind of rock and roll with a list. So that shouldn't be too much of an issue there.
Okay, the second thing, I'm not sure if you got a chance to look. This is what I found, but I wanted to double check with you. As far as the dual wielding, basically what I found is that you pick the lower of the 2 weapon skills that you're using, then you add +1 difficulty to the roll, and then if you hit, you can either use 2 advantages if you get them or 1 triumph to be able to hit with a second weapon as well.
Yeah, that completely makes sense. Matter of fact, I believe that. Right. Yeah, that should be in the. I think that's in the core book, right? I think that's in the core book.
Yeah, it's in the book. Yeah.
Yeah. That's. Yeah.
Choose the skill. You add +1 difficulty, and then you need the 2 advantages to trigger the second weapon.
Okay. Yep.
And then you will mess people up. Be like a dual sword wielding Ginsu craziness, hacking people up in that crazy ninja way you do. But you're not a ninja.
Ginzu is actually his middle name. So.
Ah, there you go. Varric Ginzu Badass. I like it. So, if everyone else is good to go, right on. Let's jump right back into it. The Major Surian kind of looks across the table. Yep, here it is. Congratulations. Right now we have a group of dedicated rebellion members who are going to be working tirelessly right now to refit your ship. I already had some communiques from them. Apparently, already it turns out that the guns were actually decommissioned. This ship was actually meant to be taken to a garbage planet and crashed into it. But yeah, looks like you guys got yourselves a bit of a prize. Anyway, they're retrofitting the weaponry, so the weaponry is going to be good to go. They're also working with your engineer man. What the heck was his name again?
Baron.
Baron, yeah. Working with Baron to get everything kind of going there, and apparently they'll even take the Imperial symbols off the deck plating. So looks like you boys are going to have your very own armored transport. Yeah, definitely must have lucked out there somewhere. Someone in the rebellion must like you.
Well, let's hope we can put it to good use and help the rebellion with it.
I like the sound of that. So, most importantly, besides the ship, which you're obviously here, what else? Why are you here? Because there's got to be some reason.
There's definitely a reason, and, well, I don't expect much help. I was already given the information that you have your own reasons of doing what you're doing here, and we have a mission that don't want to bog you with all the information. However, for right now, I think all the information of finding your slicer is most important, and we like to have any information we can on to help you figure out this problem. I'm no good with computers. I can barely turn one on. But
yeah, I know. No, I hear you there. Well, look, if you can find some way to find this Dark Sun, I'm not sure who this guy's working with, but I'm sure you'll figure something out. I'll tell you what, though. We have a contact based. Well, he's kind of he's a bit of a slippery character, as it were. The man's name is Can We Scrape. He owns Scrape Salvage. It's in one of the towers. I think it's the Grand Cambriel or something like that. He's on the lower levels. We're sitting on level. Right now, we're sitting on level about 700 plus. But this guy's in another tower. He's in should be in around level. I think it's 864. Anyway, he operates this this small scrapyard there. Try and see if you can glean some information off of him. Be careful though, because he's a bit of a contact and a bit of a loudmouth with the tigers. So look, if you can help us out with this, find out who this Dark Sun is, put a stop to this nonsense, it would go a long way to helping us get some more money. And I'll tell you what, from me to you, if there's a way that you can get this sorted out, well, perhaps maybe there's a way that some funds can be accidentally transferred to you guys, if you know what I mean.
We understand. We'll do everything we can.
Good man. All right, well, if you check out Scrapes, then you should be able to get something there. Hopefully it's nothing more than just some damn pile of Bantapudu just wanting to have his kicks. It could be worse, though. So I'll upload the coordinates to one of your data pads. You guys can either take a shuttle over or whatnot. Do what you got to do. Meanwhile, don't worry about your big ship there. It's getting all done up nice. probably be pretty good when you get back.
Thank you.
What can you tell me about the lower section of this building?
Lower section of this building is, well, I mean, it's mostly filled in solid. As they kept building it up over the centuries, they kept building them higher and higher. As they built them higher and higher, well, you got to think about the overall structural integrity of these buildings. So a lot of times, some of these older floors were filled up pretty solid. Down to the very bottom, the planet's surface itself, well, there's things. There's things down there. And there's things that we don't even go in looking for. A lot of times, some people even use the ground as kind of a junkyard. I'd stay away from the actual surface itself. Other than that, that's pretty much about it.
Major, when we were approaching the planet's surface, or approaching the towers, we received a hostile warning message. Are we safe to assume this is the Tigers? Or is there any other parties involved on this planet that you think might do that?
I don't know. What do the message say exactly?
Just told us to watch ourselves and that we are going to be watched and we have to be careful here. Something to that effect.
And a faint, help me at the very, very end.
Help me. I don't know, boys. I don't know. I mean,
Don't worry about it. Don't worry yourself about it. We'll figure it out, or an answer will come to us.
Okay, I think perhaps we should go and pay a call on this scrape then, if there's nothing else we need to do.
All right. Well, good luck.
One more thing.
Oh, yep.
We were also instructed, at least some of our members here, to speak with someone at the Rebel base. Can you give me the location of that?
This is the Rebel base.
Is this your base of operations?
Yeah.
Are there any beggars here?
Beggars?
I mean, that's my first thing, is thinking like, okay, well on the outside, am I going to find somebody if we're way up in the air?
Well, I mean, on the promenade, when you first came into the building, I mean, usually around there's this one fella. He's a bit loopy. He hangs out there sometimes, comes in and out. What the heck was his name? I don't know. He's always mumbling to himself, something weird about duty and how passion and I don't know. It's something. I don't know. He's always mumbling like passion and peace and passion. I don't know. It's a weird, kind of a strange fellow, but.
Well, it seems like a place to start. Thank you.
Sure, not a problem. All right. Well, you boys take care. May the force be with you.
And with you.
And as you gentlemen get up to leave, you see like another another member of this unit, kind of popping in. Sir, you might want to see this, and he just kind of like showing him a data pad, and then you can just hear the smack of his palm hitting his forehead, and he's kind of like barking orders at this guy. As you go back, I assume you want to leave because I don't really think there's anything else to do here. As you get back into the turbo lift, this time the ride is much smoother, and you kind of exit the building. Now I assume, and I'm only going to assume, that you are looking around for this this kind of transient.
Correct.
And looking around, you really don't see anything. You do see, however, strangely enough, you see kind of just kind of a rumpled cloak but just kind of like someone tried to fold it neatly, but it was just kind of like one of those really quick folds that never seemed to turn out well. Just kind of like plump there right in the corner. Other than that, that's pretty much all you know or see.
So if I don't see anybody standing around, I'll take a minute to move over there and inspect the cloak.
Sure. As people are just like walking by, really kind of ignoring it. As you kind of lift up the cloak, you see that it's fairly long, about made for like a human, maybe even a bit bigger. It's fairly long. It has a hood, and you just see kind of like written on the cloak, kind of either in like some sort of a charcoal or something. You're not really sure. Just says peace, kind of on one side of the cloak. It says passion on the other. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, well, I'll neatly and crisply fold it back up and put it back in its spot, and then rejoin the others.
Okay. So, as you guys all pile back into the Finders Keepers, still the best name for a ship. Just works for me. As you guys pile in, the data that Major Surian gave you, kind of punch that into the computer, and you begin to kind of fly to the Cambriel Tower. It's not too far away. You kind of plunk, kind of zip around a bit. Takes you a little bit, and you find, like, as you kind of start sinking down, you see you almost see like it's almost like the layers of the side of a cliff, where you can see the layers of stone, like the different times of architecture where they built upon this tower, making it the size it is. As you almost peel back the layers of time as you go down. So like you see, like, obviously the tops, like one of the tops of the towers are all just like the most recent build. You go down, and it looks like buildings that would have been really nice like 25 years ago, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 150 years ago. As you keep going down, as you finally head down to the kind of like that lower area in the like 800s, just barely kissing that kind of mist that's kind of on the bottom. You see a landing pad, and you see, kind of in like basic and a couple other languages, you just see scrapes, salvage, and it's this kind of like mishmash, like neon sign where like parts of it are blinking out, so it looks like crepes and savage, like it's just like all like these like just just blinking out and whatnot have you. And as you land, everything seems totally fine, and it's there right before you. What would you gentlemen like to do?
Well, I guess we're going to enter.
Just wasn't sure if you... Hey, I know I just caught myself, damn it. Wasn't sure if you guys wanted to prepare anything. If there's anything that you want to...
No, I'll just point out the landing pad for Salin, for him to land.
Setting it down now, Mercer.
Okay. So if you guys start walking in, Celine, as you're walking, the others just seem to kind of be walking like much faster than you. You kind of seem to be, your feet seem to be just feeling heavy. And as you
I'll be
begin,
sort of thinking to myself, oh, maybe it's just the exhaustion and like the adrenaline of like all the like events that happened earlier sort of wearing off. Obviously the tiredness is kicking in, but I don't really want to sort of show like that I'm not up to snuff in front of the rest of the guys. So I'll be sort of falling back a bit, but I'm sort of struggling to like try and keep up and not really wanting to say anything. So I really want to go, wait guys, I'm out of breath. Hold on a second. I'll just be like, oh, I'll just keep going. I'll be fine.
as you slow, the short kind of little like land bridge that goes to the front of this place just seems to be getting further and further away, until it almost looks like, it's like, 900 feet to the front of the store, what should have just been like 20, 30 feet.
I'm just going to put my hand out on like one of the supports on the sort of like the bridge you're walking across, and I'll be like, sort of like panting a bit, sort of like literally just sort of stop moving, sort of like breathing quite heavily as I put a hand to like this support to try and like steady myself, probably like my hand shaking a little bit.
Do we notice him doing this, or does this happen in kind of microseconds within his own experience?
This is just happening. You guys have walked ahead. It's a lot of this stuff is more like a kind of happening in his head, but at the same time, he's just getting fatigued from this thing hitting him.
I'd assume whatever that I'm doing, you guys would see, but the sort of like weirdness that Mike's describing, you guys wouldn't see. So you'd have just seen me sort of falling behind a bit, looking a bit tired, and then like putting my hand out and stopping and like.
We might not even notice that much. Just we're walking ahead,
Yeah.
and this is all just happening behind us.
And then as you put your hand out and as you touch the support, you hear in your head, "Come on, Squiddy, make your choice."
I'm just gonna sort of like lifting my head up, quite tired. I'm just gonna be like looking around to see if I can see who's like talking. Still sort of like holding on to this support.
And you hear like from below, you hear this screaming, and again the flashing to your mind, this young girl grabbing on for dear life, at this landing pad, trying to pull herself up. Make your choice.
I'm just gonna like shout out like Varric's name, because I can't really see where they are, but I'm just hoping they're still somewhere about. I'm like, Varric!
I assume that when he yells out, his voice is distressed. So I would spin around, my hand going for the hilt of my vibro sword as I turn to look at him.
I'm also like pale with like sweat running down my face as I'm sort of holding onto this support. So almost like falling to my knees as I've got like no strength left in my legs and they're sort of like buckling underneath me.
So when I see that, I would run forward, attempting to catch him and lift him. What's
going on? Is he spacing out again?
I'm just going to sort of like grab hold of like the front of like Varric's jacket or cloak or whatever, and I'll be sort of like trying to describe what I'm seeing as I'm saying it. There's a girl, Varric. She's on a landing pad. She's holding on to the edge of it. I can see it. She's screaming.
So when he first says there's a girl, my instinct is I quickly look around. But then as he continues, I realize that whatever he's speaking of is not in our immediate vicinity. So I'll just support him and say, what else do you see?
I can't see much else. I can hear this voice. It's weird, kind of echoey. It keeps telling me to make a choice. I don't know what it's talking about.
and as kind of a last kind of a poignant thing before the before your kind of vision ends. You hear this whisper kind of on the wind. Save the girl. Save the planet. Squiddy.
I'll sort of like stagger as I'm trying to like run to the end of the platform, so I see it in my sort of vision. I'm like trying to reach out to like save this girl, but since I'm sort of like Varric sort of like holding me up, I've got no real strength to sort of like pull away from him, but I'm just sort of like making as I'm trying to like stagger towards the edge of this like walkway, sort of like reaching out for someone that isn't really there.
Yeah, I'll just tighten my grip on him and not allow him to move, and possibly injure himself.
Then I'm probably going to do the only manly thing that it's possible to do in this situation and swoon into a faint.
Swoon away.
So yeah, Varric would catch his weight then, and I don't know if he's like unconscious. I guess I would probably take him back to the ship. I don't want to carry him in.
Well, generally, people don't like you bringing in unconscious people into their places of business. I mean, that's usually
it makes negotiations a little awkward.
True, and not even in a bar. Actually, especially not.
As
in a
I'm
bar,
sort of
right?
as I'm sort of fading in and out of consciousness, I'll be mumbling this. Oh, we've got to save the girl to save the world. So you now are you gonna? Sorry, Varric. Are you gonna stay with Salin on the ship?
Yes. The ship is not. I mean, we're landed like real close to where the shop is. Correct.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's
so
like I said, 20 feet to the front door. It's not that, or actually, I should say more like 30 or 40 feet to the front door. But you get the idea.
Yeah, I'm gonna take him back to the ship. I'll have my comms up. If you run into trouble, let me know, and I'll be there.
Perhaps this isn't the best time to start questioning if one of our members is having an issue.
We can wait till he recovers. Splash some water on his face. Maybe he's just dehydrated. This is our first planet without water, after all. So should we all go back to the ship and wait then?
Yeah, I think, because I would not just allow him. We need the whole team.
And we're just parked right outside, so it's not a big deal. We just take him inside the ship and just try to get him to recover.
I imagine that since obviously the sort of swooning is just for like flavour, also as you're taking me back to the ship, I'll be sort of slowly regaining consciousness and like coming round. I'll be looking a bit bewildered and spaced out, but I'll be sort of slowly starting to like regain consciousness and sort of like looking around.
And I'll start prepping one of my rations. It's probably a little bit more heartier, a lot more proteins, and start kind of fixing that up a little bit for him to consume.
I'll scoff that down.
Did you see another vision? Something that's a threat to us coming up?
I don't know what I saw. I saw a landing platform. There was a young girl clinging to the edge of it, like she was trying to hold on and stop herself from falling. And I heard this voice telling me I had a decision to make, and that the fate of whatever world it was on, I didn't recognize it. It wasn't the fate of the girl.
A tower.
Did it look like it?
Platform?
Did it look like it was this world, Mike, based on the sort of towers and that I could see?
Yeah, and that seems to be logical. Like, it seems to be what same kind of architecture, same looking landing pads. I mean, not the exact landing pad you're on, but it does look very similar to that.
Sort of like
it's a landing pad attached to a tower.
yeah, between like gulping down these ration pads, I'm like, I couldn't really see too many details. It all happened too quickly. But yes, I think it was this one. The tower and the landing pad that she was on looked a bit like one of these, although I don't think it was this one. But like I say, this voice told me that whatever fate befell the girl, it would be the same for the fate of the world.
Well, I just had a crazy thought. What if the voice we heard that said "help me" in a really quiet voice? What if that was the girl? And we're, according to your vision, maybe we're going to meet her. She's connected to this dark sun, or whoever's been warning us.
I don't know. Maybe.
Perhaps this beggar can shed some light on it as well.
Indeed.
What is this whole thing with the beggar? Did I miss something?
While you were
beggars.
While you were prepping, we had Varric and I had a very interesting meeting with an engineer who helped us with that information of saying where the Bacta was at. This very one told us to come here and to meet somebody specifically to help you two. And I wanted that to be my primary mission, because the faster we can get you whatever help it is you need, this person has the answers.
Maybe you're right, Mercer. Whatever it is, I can't keep going on the way I am. These visions, these hallucinations, whatever it is I'm having, they seem to be getting stronger, and they're taking more out of me each time I have one.
The information is useful, but indeed we need to help you find a way to control them, if it's possible.
I appreciate that, Kojima, but we can't let my infirmity, whatever it is, jeopardize our mission. We've got to find this dark sun and this code. I'll be all right. I think I've managed to get it together now. We need to go and speak to this scrape.
Let's talk to Scrape, and then we'll stop by and see if we can find this beggar again after.
Okay, I think I'm good to walk now.
Just
Let's go.
Just stay close, and he'll give him a kind of a friendly backhand on the shoulder, and then begin heading back towards Scrapes.
Okay, let's go.
And I'll take the rear. No matter how slow they walk, I'll take the very last spot.
Gotcha. So as the four of you make your way, you open up the door, and you basically see just a kind of a mishmash of different, like, smaller items. Small, like, basically like a pawn shop, but with, like, ship parts. You see some big ship parts, some little ship parts, kind of scattered all over the place, and you see sitting kind of at the back of the store, like in kind of like with a hollow, kind of with another hollow, with a data pad, just like kind of sitting there, like looks like watching something or listening to something. You see this Gran. It's a Gran. He has kind of like one kind of like a bionic, kind of like a quarter moon thing, like quarter, like facial plate, with a kind of a bionic eye, sorry, up here, but he also has like a kind of a face, like a quarter face plate. He also has like one bionic arm that just kind of seems to be resting, and it's like just constantly tapping on the table that he's working at. He kind of looks up at you, kind of like, with that kind of look, like, what are you doing? What are they doing here? And then he just shakes his head, goes back down to the data pad.
Kind of quickly, just kind of talk shop. Came down here in case you might have a power source for a Carillion Gazanti class cruiser or anything in that close vicinity.
I'm not going to be a dink because I wouldn't even know how to speak Gran to begin with. So we're just going to go with the fact that he speaks Common. I'm sorry, man. I'm not doing like goat roaring. So looks goes anti-class. Goes anti-class. Not an Imperial outfitter. No, I don't have that. Where would you get Gozanti class cruiser or armed transport? You are not wealthy.
It's not only the Empire who owns Gazinti class cruisers. I'm sure you know that.
I know that. But they are expensive. More than you can afford. You don't look very wealthy.
We won it. It's a bot game.
Sabat game. No one bets Gozanti on Sabat game. Only fool.
Yes, a fool and his ships are soon parted, as we have shown.
Yes. I hear someone even bet YT 1300 on Sabat game. Stupid. No one bets ship.
As I'm going to sort of say, yes, we might not look wealthy, but appearances can sometimes be deceptive. And I'm going to take out basically like a sort of credit chip with like 100 credits on it out of like my stash out of the supplies we got. And I'm just going to sort of almost carelessly just sort of like chuck it down on the desk in front of him, like it was pocket change.
Yeah, and he snatches it up like faster than you could see, like almost faster than you could even see his hand move. Just kind of looks at it. And you can see like one of his eye stalks kind of popping over the bionic one, just kind of like twisting into it. Okay, well, power source. I might be able to have something for you. Probably cost you 2,000.
Well, we're going to shop around a little. I'm sure you understand, but also as well, we were told by a friend of ours, since we're new in town, that you're a man who keeps his ear to the ground and that you hear things.
Hear things. I hear many things, but information is worth more than this junk. And he kind of points to all the different parts. Depending what information you need and who told you.
I'm just going to sort of point at like the credit chip that he's holding and say, well, let's just say that you've already got 100 of my friends there who told me to come and speak to you.
100 credit. Pah! He throws the 100 credit stick back at you. Information not cheap. 100 credit barely gets you 2 words.
At which point I'll pick up the chip and I'll say, oh, well, I best put this back with its 6,000 or so friends.
You put 6,000 down. Then we talk. Have good talk.
I'm no fool, Scrape. How do I even know you have any information before I start laying that amount of money down?
Well, instead of playing dance around topic, you just ask me what you want to know. Then I tell you if I know anything.
I'm going to sort of look over at Mercer as he says that.
Yeah, and I'll like nod, like go ahead and ask whatever questions, because you know how well I am good with talking with people in fragile situations.
You're good at words and stuff.
You're all about the wordiness, man.
Yeah.
I could cut his head off if that would be helpful.
I'm so glad you're
It
only
might make it difficult for us to. It might make it difficult for us to get answers out of him unless one of you's put the ventriloquism like specialist skill. So I'm going to look at
now.
him and I'll say, sorry, go ahead.
I'm like, now, I know you have friends that are in the Tigers. We have no quorum with them. I don't even know who they are. All I know is that a friend of ours is having an issue, and I'm sure a lot of others. And if you were higher up in these sections of this Cambriel, that you might know the word or the name Dark Sun.
Everybody know Dark Sun. Dark Sun, big hero. But
well, let's just say we're not looking to stop what he's doing. Far from it. We just think that his attention could be better directed against those who really deserve his special brand of justice.
how so?
Well, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, Scrape, if 4 people who had access to certain sensitive Imperial information were to walk into your shop and were to offer to hand this information over to you, so that it might find its way to Darkson and that he might better target those people and perhaps cut our friends a bit of a break, hypothetically speaking. Do you think this Darkson might be interested? After all, he is a folk hero. I'm sure he really wants to stick it to the people who've been oppressing people around here.
No. I know now. You are part of rebellion. Not my business what you do, but I tell you now, Darkson hate Empire and rebellion.
So what you're saying is that if he had classified Imperial information, he'd be, hypothetically speaking, he'd be able to put it to good use.
Does not matter. Even if you have important information that Galaxy need to know, like Empire building another big station, which I don't think is going to happen, but that's just me. Even if that were to happen, what is Galaxy going to do? Everyone stand up, try to fight Empire? Empire is too big. Empire too powerful.
All I'm saying, Scrape, is I don't like the Empire personally. But what I'm saying is, if your hero was to steal a lot more money from them, given the information that could be provided to him, let's just say that I wouldn't lose any sleep over it.
Yes, I bet. Anyway, what you want? What you want to know? Then we talk business.
I'm going to go with what I just did there, and I'm going to go ahead and ask a question. What if I'll say your folk hero, Dark Sun, was not a him, but maybe a her, and she's in trouble?
No. Dark Sun speak to planet. Dark Sun speak through datapad. Deep voice. Man.
I'm going to take out my own datapad, and I'm effectively going to bring up some very while Mercer's talking, and I'm going to sort of bring up like some very simple like voice modulator software, sort of whisper into the datapad. Then I'm going to sort of hold it up to him, and he'll just sort of go, "Was it a deep voice like this?" And then I'll just be like, "Yes, voices are terribly difficult to alter."
No, he's not. Dark Sun is not woman. Dark Sun is man. Dark Sun work. Not important. Look, you buy information, you tell me. You buy information, or you leave, or you buy parts. You buy parts, you buy information, or go.
Why does Dark Sun target the rebellion? Why does he hate the rebellion?
Why don't you go ask him?
We'd like to.
We
Where
would
is he?
if we knew where he was.
Hmm. Now that will cost you.
How much?
1,000 credit.
On the deck.
A location.
Or arrange a meeting for us.
Arrange a meeting? Haha. No. But I can say that Darksun work for Tiger. And Darksun is Tiger very expensive property. He treat Darksun better than any of his men. And Darksun always make big boss money. You be careful. There is cantina where Tiger drink at. Cantina called Credit End. In city center, you will find here. He hands you a kind of some coordinates to head to, but you listen. You not hear from me. And next time you walk into my store, you buy part or you leave.
I'm going to lean over the counter towards him, and then I'm going to say, in the orbital docking station around this world, there is a Guzinti-class cruiser currently being refitted. They will need parts and equipment. If you contact them, tell them we have been in contact with you, they will buy the bulk of their parts from you.
And you see him kind of puff out his chest. Okay, we have deal. You don't
Good. It's been a pleasure doing business with you.
Because hopefully you return customer. Be careful at Credit's End. You will be in full fight. If you do, make sure you have pistol you can hide. Or else shooting start. And they will win. Good. Now get out of my store. And he goes back to looking at his data pad.
Out.
Well, that was certainly productive.
And as
Money
you
talks.
and as you leave, you actually, as you see your ship on top of the on there getting ready to go. You actually see kind of a skiff zipping by, and I want all four of you to make athletics checks.
What's the
What's the
difficulty?
difficulty?
You know what? Let's make this a 2.
It's been nice knowing you guys.
2 advantages.
Okay.
2 threat from me.
Oh, jeez, that's ridiculous. Damn it, Mercer. So, Mercer, you see... Let's go from the top. Actually, I'm just waiting on... Barrick? Yeah.
He doesn't even have to roll.
Yeah, sorry. I was just
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. You don't even have to roll. What do you got? Like
It's already
He'll just fade.
blocks.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He'll just phase out to the Delta Quadrant and then phase back in again after.
so
phased in through.
again, if possible, based off the fact, with what happened before we went in and me telling Salin to stay close, if I can use any of those advantages to help him out. Because I got 4 successes and 3 advantages.
Yep. Tell you what, yes, you can use... If you use all 3 of your advantages, you can gain 1 success for Salin.
Okay.
Okay. So, Varric, obviously, actually both Varric and Mercer, you guys see this skiff kind of like all of a sudden just drop in altitude and come careening across you. You can just make out a Weequay holding on to like a heavy repeating blaster, and he just begins opening up and strafing your entire position. You just have enough time to duck out of the way and hit the ground. Same with as you hit the ground, Varric, you grab Salin and pull him right down. For you, Kojamal, you kind of at the last minute kind of understand that everyone's hitting the deck, and you just begin to kind of like pull yourself down out of the way, but you do get just a glancing blow hit off of your shoulder. You're going to take 6 wounds. Just because it's a glancing blow, it's not a.
It's not much of a glancing blow. It's a pretty full-on shot.
Well, a heavy.
It goes through soak too, though.
This type of heavy repeating blaster is generally enough to like disable all the things. So.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I didn't do my soak, so that's fine.
With as I'm being sort of pulled to safety, Mike.
Yeah.
Can I make a perception roll to see if I notice any like distinctive markings or sort of identifying signs on the skiff as it sort of like shoots past?
I'd like to do the same for the Weequay, see if I recognize him.
Sure. Okay. So I'll do we'll do Kojamal first. So Kojamal, if you like just seeing his armor and everything else, if you can make me either a knowledge underworld check, or you could also make me, I guess, what would be the best? No, xenology doesn't count. I guess a straight intelligence check. Each one of those will be a difficulty of 4, simply because there's a lot of Weequay.
Okay. Can I do a perception? Because I'm like just looking at him as he's going by.
Oh, yeah, by all means.
Okay. I'm going to flip a point because that's pretty high difficulty. Okay. So 4, right? 4 purple?
Yeah.
Okay. So 2 success and 3 threat. So I do recognize him, and it's bad.
Yes. And I'm going to get back to that as soon as I finish with Salin.
Yep.
So Salin, you want to determine any markings on the skiff, right?
On the skiff, yeah, just for identification purposes.
So I'll say either an underworld knowledge or a.
Again, I was just planning to go with perception to sort of like notice its appearance, basically. Effectively, the equivalent of like taking down like the license plate number of like a vehicle moving past quickly. The Star Wars equivalent is.
Sorry, now I understand. I thought you was like, you want to identify where it belongs to, but I see what you're saying. You just want to see if there's anything. So that if we, so that if we came across this skiff again, I'd like be able to recognize it, etc. Gotcha. That was foolish on my part. All right, you got it, man. Make a perception check. Be a difficulty. He's going pretty fast, so it's going to be a difficulty of about 3.
2 successes and 2 advantages.
Sweet. You make out, I guess, like a picture, kind of like a stencil drawing, kind of hastily done, of what looks like some type of a creature with huge under tusks that almost come up to the roof of its other mouth, and its mouth is open. So I mean, you can imagine it's got like these like kind of like large tusks that kind of like sit up pretty high. It's in the middle of roaring, and if you want to figure out what that is, you could make either an intelligence or a xenology check. It'd probably be the same difficulty.
I'll give it a shot. No, I've no idea what that creature is. I failed. However, if I can see Kojamal is looking at it, what I'd like to do is, because I don't know, he's looking at the weak way. I'm assuming he's looking at the skiff like me. What I'd like to do is, I'd like to sort of describe the creature as I'm seeing it go past, so those guys can hear it. And if like Kojamal can make a xenology roll, I'd use my advantages to give him a boost.
Okay. So if you want to make a xenology, Kojamal, it's actually.
Yep.
It's actually going to be so for you. It's actually going to be a difficulty of 3. You're going to get a bonus die, and maybe you could figure it out.
Okay. 1 success.
Nice. You know this creature is known as a Raltiri tiger. It is a very vicious creature that generally inhabits the lower, like the actual surface, but in areas where the like kind of sprawling city, these sprawling tower cities kind of aren't anywhere near, kind of where excuse me, any pollution is, there's very little pollution, still hunts in the wild, and it's a very efficient, very dangerous predator. Its notable aspects are these large, like kind of tusks that jut out the bottom of its bottom jaw that it uses. It can actually kind of unhinge its jaw like a serpent and actually bring it like straight down to its chest, and it uses it to latch on. And the trick of the Raltiri tiger was that it never lets go until the whatever it's attacking is dead.
So when Salin asked me if do you recognize that or did you catch that or something, I'm gonna say that's a Raltiri tiger. It's a vicious predator that still hunts on the surface of this planet. And that's probably all.
Well, I'd say we've got a good idea who owns the skiff then.
And maybe a clue as to where we can actually find the tigers, where their base of operations is.
Is this
Yeah,
thing
what do we-
continuing past us?
Yeah, it just shot past you. It was basically you were involved in a flyby or a drive-by, probably a flyby, maybe a skiff by. I mean, depending on how you want to call it, but needless to say, yeah. But back to the most important thing is that Kojamal, you most certainly recognize that weak way. Matter of fact, that weak way is probably so very familiar to you because he's your brother.
So when I recognize that, I would be in the middle of answering Salin, I'd just stop and become even more pale. Even though I'm gray-skinned and leathery, you can still see there's even more paleness that I can become, and I'll just start studying.
Are you all right?
That's impossible. I heard he died. When no, it can't be. That's Amrak. That's my brother. I heard he died when Jabba's base was destroyed.
And that is where we're going to end it today. Because, I know, right? It's just like, but, truth bomb and stuff happened. But I think that was kind of a nice little way to kind of end it on a bit of a cliffhanger. Especially since Kojamal just realized his brother seems to be alive and is trying to kill him.
And now Kojamal has
Probably
a
how
very
they say
close
hello
call.
in weak ways society.
It could be. It could be like they spray you with pheromones and then they try and shoot you with heavy blaster rifles. I mean, this is a natural thing.
So yeah,
So-
no, Kojamal is very personally invested in the Raltiri tigers.
Indeed, very indeed. So what I'll do now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. And at this point, I will just would like to do outros with all these incredible people. And we'll start from my left with Varric. Varric, if you could do your outro, please.
I just want to say thanks to our GM and my fellow players. Another great session. Always seem to end on a cliffhanger. This one a little more than most, I suppose. We got a lot of loose ends to tie up, so it should be a lot of fun. Check out Tides of Change.
All right. Thanks, man. Next up, Coach Jamal. Coach Jamal?
Yeah, I'm just glad to be back, and thanks to Mike for his excellent GMing and to my fellow players for their fantastic role-playing as usual. And yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you again next month.
Awesome. Well, hopefully not next month. Hopefully it'll be by week.
In general. And it's the end of July, so technically we're right either way, right?
Touche.
There you go.
I'll give you that one. All right, Mercer.
Well played there. Well, I want to thank everybody for watching, first and foremost. I hope you're enjoying the game as much as we are. I want to thank Dennis and Devin and Mike for running a spectacular game, and that's put John on the spot. Well, I'm going to put Mike on the spot too. First, I want to say happy birthday to Mike that had a birthday this last week, and for John for 11 years of marriage. Congratulations to him.
Yes, indeed. I had forgotten. Yes, today is your anniversary, and the fact that your wife was so absolutely wonderful. Well, okay, if we're going to go by time zones, yesterday was your anniversary, but technically it's today's your anniversary because the curvature of the Earth, so just don't argue with it.
I blame Varric with his phasing in and out of reality. It's messing up the space-time continuum.
Way to go, Varric. You and all your awesome stealth. Could have used you in a game earlier.
I've got to admit, I did imagine the bit where sort of like Varric sort of like stopped me from being hit by the fire. That I was just sort of stood there, and all of a sudden this black cloak just like got dropped over the top of me. Like, what?
Yeah, sorry, man. You're dead. Varric just killed you. He's tired of you. Sick of you nonsense. So, well, of course, now, of course, last but most certainly not least, Salin, if you can give us your outro, please.
Again, this has been John from Red Dice Diaries. I've thoroughly enjoyed the game, so again, thanks to Mike and all my fellow players. Really enjoying the campaign so far. Interest in all the twists and turns and how everything's developing. Like the guy said, loads of loose ends to tie up, and I'm sure we'll have fun doing that. As I'm sure many people are going to say, if you've got any interest in Star Wars, check out the Tides of Change community. Lots of games going on there, lots of great GMs and players. So again, thanks, Mike. Thanks to everybody.
All right, and of course, I have been the GM. I'm Mike, obviously with the channel Mike the Piper, because that's what you're watching right now. And I just want to say I've been so lucky to play with such awesome players, with 5 great players. And I say 5 because, you know, Ryan, he started out with us, man. He was an awesome player. So I'm hoping
not forgotten, man.
Hell yeah, that's right. And I'm hoping at some point maybe you'll be able to come back. I think that'd be pretty awesome. But yeah, everyone, check out the Tides of Change Role-Playing Game Club. You know, check out the Tides of Change channel on YouTube. You can see some absolutely phenomenal roleplay, not just here, but also on that channel. There's some really great games going on there. And all the games that everyone's doing. Check out Red Dice Diaries. Check out What the Dice. You know, 2 phenomenal channels. I think deserve a lot more credit. They're great channels, so please check it out. So, from me to you guys, I hope you guys have a fantastic evening. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, get inspired.